All right. So we had a stinker of a Monday night football game, not for Dallas, who emerges victorious. We have an injury for the Vols basketball team, unfortunately. And we have headlines to get to here in just a little bit. We're happy to have you on the show until 1 o'clock, 615-737-1045. We will have Jason Fitz in the noon hour, as is the custom. We will talk to him about who is under the most pressure right now in the NFL as we move forward. We will also talk to him about the coaching carousel in college football, because one opening has already been filled before the regular season even concludes. James Franklin, the next coach of Virginia Tech. Odd timing, I guess, at least relative to convention. I feel like most teams or programs at least get through the regular season before maybe they have their guy. And maybe the coaching carousel is such that you're not going to waste time waiting around for somebody else to make a better offer. If you think you can get James Franklin now, go get him. And that's exactly what Virginia Tech did.
Put him in your crosshairs. Go get it done. Who cares when you get it done? I don't think they could have made a better hire.
No, given Virginia Tech's profile, what they have been, what they haven't been for quite some time, and what James Franklin continues to aspire to be, he'll have much greater success relative to expectation of Virginia Tech than he did at Penn State, even though he wasn't bad at Penn State by any stretch of the imagination. He was, just as Josh Pate perpetually says of him, he was properly rated at every point in his career. And then as a ranked team, or the coach of a ranked team, 2 weeks later, he gets fired after the wheels kind of come off, and Penn State just says, all right, enough of this guy.
Speaking of the Josh Pate-isms that we constantly grift off of, Tennessee did not lose to Food last night.
Tennessee did not lose to Rice, but they did lose a player. How impactful do you think this injury is going to be?
It would be very unfortunate to have Estrella out for a long period of time. He missed the entirety of last season with the foot injury. And he goes down, an awkward knee injury. Rick Barnes said after the game, it kind of looked like he hyperextended his knee. He said with Mike Keith on Vol Network post-game, we think he's going to be fine, but we'll see. There are going to be some more tests. The good thing is Estrella, who was unable to really put any weight on it when he was coming off, ended up coming out of the locker room and back onto the bench. To me, that was a good sign. Like, if a guy suffers a season-ending injury, you're probably not going to see him back on the bench, ice pack on his knee, sitting there with the rest of his teammates watching the rest of the game.
Or if he does come out, it's going to be a situation that is more than just an ice pack, right?
For sure. So early signs are that it won't be too long. We'll see what updates come through maybe today. But, I mean, this is a guy that's averaging 14 points per game. Tennessee has an incredibly deep front court. None are better at contributing offensively as consistently as J.P. Estrella is. So it would be a huge blow for him individually after missing last season. I think he played 3 games last season. And obviously it would be a big blow for Tennessee and their ability to score down on the post. But we'll see. Early signs are okay. Otherwise, Tennessee largely took care of business. Weird start to the year where they're kind of just easing in, handling North Florida and Rice, and their first real test comes a week from today when they play Houston.
My basketball team's ranked, and I'm very happy about it. It's the only sports joy I'm getting right now. They're 25th, but by God, they're in the rankings, Indiana. It makes me very, very happy.
What's their first big test?
Louisville on December the 6th, which is not going to be a pleasant experience, I feel, but I have plenty of cupcakes in between then and now to convince me that my basketball team will hold serve at the Yum Center, KFC Yum Center.
KFC Yum Center.
Where Louisville plays. They squeaked by Incarnate Word. I wanted to see them put 100 on Cam Ward's, one of Cam Ward's. I said, did Cam Ward graduate any of these institutions?
Oh, I'm not sure where he has a degree from.
He may not. I
he was in college for a good, 5 years? I imagine he does.
It's possible. I'm not sure.
Robert was appalled when I informed him that Louisville plays in the KFC Yum Center.
Why?
It's a dumbass name. Cam Ward has a bachelor's degree from Washington State.
There you go.
There you go.
It's worse than KFC Yum Center, as I recently learned, Louisville's football stadium, which is an impressive stadium. If you've driven by them. It is the L&L Federal Credit Union Stadium. Or, excuse me, L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium.
What does that stand for?
L&N? What does M&T stand for? M&T Bank.
Ooh, what does that stand for, Robert?
Mushrooms and truffles?
Aren't those the same thing? Or
That's what Maryland does. Crab cakes, mushrooms, and truffles. I have no idea.
Louisville gets that bag. You got to give them credit. It was Papa John's, it's KFC, and now it's L&N.
Yeah, Papa
Federal
John's was
Credit
all
Union.
over everything, and then Papa
Yeah,
John's,
gotta take it
with
off.
some
So what's the
racist
next
comments, and you had to get him out of there.
They're going to be the Quiznos Center? Like, what's that?
Quiznos Yum Center.
Yeah, dude, I miss Quiznos.
What's their
Is
like
Quiznos defunct?
Quiznos subs, they're nice and toasty. You don't
No,
remember that spot?
I haven't seen a Quiznos, I'm telling you, since high school.
No, their little catchphrase is toasty. the Quiznos toasty center. I like that better than KFC Yum.
Yeah, it's if it was just the KFC Center, I'd probably be I wouldn't find it as odd, but it's because it's Yum exclamation point. It's KFC Yum Center.
Tennessee basketball plays Louisville as well, the F&M Bank chat points out.
Speaking of oddly named arenas.
Well, first, M&T stands for Manufacturers and Traders.
Oh, okay. Did
So
you
what
know
was-
that before?
I didn't. I'm telling you, you will learn something on this show. It will be inconsequential to your regular life,
Fundamentally useless knowledge.
but you can impress people when they're like, I wonder what M&T stands for. It's Manufacturers and Traders. I learned that on the Buck Rising Show.
Now a Hattie B's arena. Somebody has
that's got
submitted
There we go.
good ring to it.
to the F&M Bank chat where you can interact with the show. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Monday Night Football not really worth talking about other than the oddity of the George Pickens, CD Lamb, you have to sit on the bench for the first series.
That was weird.
Punishment, and then CD Lamb is just a rocket ship in the game. George Pickens
Pickens was
is
awesome.
also excellent in the game. Dak Prescott continues to play some of the best football that we've ever seen him play. 268 yards, 4 touchdowns, 33-16 over the hapless Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I didn't pay much attention to the Monday Night Football coverage. Lucas tells me that the pregame coverage was not very favorable to the Raiders in terms of almost making fun of them.
It was on. I just kind of had it on, plodding around the house, cooking and getting stuff done. And they were talking a lot about this Raiders rebuild and kind of the oddity of, in a total rebuild, reset place as a franchise, bringing in 74-year-old Pete Carroll to be your head coach, Geno Smith to be your quarterback, and drafting a running back in Ashton Genty, 6 overall, to play behind this dreadful offensive line. Now, that can easily be said in hindsight when we see what Vegas has been this year. But we can operate in hindsight if we want to. And doing that, looking at this, yeah, it's hard to make sense of everything that Vegas did this past offseason, given what they don't have around those pieces. And it's just bottomed out. And they find themselves in a really difficult place. And I guess Pete Carroll's enough of a culture setter that they feel like they can build out from this moving forward. But the Geno Smith experience has been underwhelming. I feel like Ashton Genty gets too much flack.
Well, they can't block.
It's what I'm saying. They ran for
block.
27 yards yesterday.
It's awful. Just awful at this point in time. As you look at who's in a worse situation, though, because the Raiders at least are in a situation where they have, if I'm not mistaken, they own their first-round pick this year. If you're a Falcons fan, what are you thinking today at 3-7 with trading away your first-round pick for the right to draft James Pierce this year? And I'm not, I don't know that James Pierce is going to be not worthy of something or not a good or above average defensive end for the Falcons, but the Falcons are 3-7. Penix is thought to at least potentially be done for the year. We have not seen anything definitive reported. It is a potential season-ending injury, and at least Kirk Cousins for the immediate is going to continue to start games. But the Rams own the Falcons pick right now, which would be 8th overall. If you're Atlanta looking around, be like, the hell? Like, what are we doing? It's awful. So at least you're not in that situation. The Tennessee Titans are the best at being very, very worst at 1-9 for the second consecutive season. But there are teams who are lacking the draft capital in this situation that are in much worse, are setting themselves up for much worse future implications than are the Titans, should they, in fact, finish with the number 1 overall pick.
I think it was Marcus Spears that was really questioning the Raiders' approach, and the word he used was waffling. It's the worst place to be as a franchise, when you're waffling, and you're not in a place where you're contending, and you're not in an all-out rebuild. You're in this weird in-between, trying to do it on the fly a little bit, which we've seen here in recent years, right? We've talked about it. Last 3 to 4 years have been a lot of bad football around here. this 2025 is the first year where there has been a public acknowledgement of, okay, this is a to the foundation rebuild out from here. When you go from trying to keep it going with Tannehill and Henry and then flash cooking a competitive team in free agency with Rand Carthon to finally that acknowledgement of, all right, this is going to be a while. And the Raiders are kind of out there just waffling, and the season has not gone even close to what they expected. We learned that Quinnen Williams is still good.
Yep, 1.5 sacks last night.
There was a great cut to, Robert, I know you saw this, of Jerry Jones after Quinnen Williams' first sack of the game, where Jerry is just in his box and is like slumped in his chair and just the most devilish grin when Williams gets home. That made me laugh.
He was so tickled with himself. He's like, I told you I was going to bring a difference maker.
They're 4-5-1, Jerry.
With no first-round pick.
It was cool to see the way they honored Marshawn Kneeland yesterday. I thought the Monday Night Football broadcast did a great job in the pregame, lead up to it, and during the game. And obviously the Cowboys, that was a big part of their approach to the game, too.
Yeah, my Friday Fire, I know it's going to be several days removed from Sunday, but it's going to be Mike Brown, his cousin, Marshawn Kneeland.
Titan safety Mike Brown.
Who was recently activated off injured reserve and wore a Marshawn Kneeland jersey to the game on Sunday, which I thought was a nice touch.
I thought it was also reaffirmed that George Pickens is who we knew he was. Not even 24 hours after Jamison Williams gets a penalty for jumping onto the field goal post, Pickens does the exact same thing.
That's right.
And he watched the terrible result of the Detroit Lions kicker missing the point after attempt. And he's like, nah, I gotta farm that aura, dude. I gotta claim back, and people gotta remember who I am. So he did the Antonio Brown jumping into the cushion. I thought that was funny.
AJ did that once here.
Yes. Yeah.
And now it turns into a 48-yard extra point. But the Cowboys have Brandon Aubrey, so they're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Make it a 64-yard extra point.
We're not sweating it.
George Pickens was awesome. Like that, he just glides. It just seems like it comes so naturally to him.
Well, yeah, nobody's ever doubted that he's an excellent football player.
Except for you, and you said you wanted Nick Westbrook-Akine over him.
Let's stand on it. And Devontae Adams. And Zay Flowers. How many other wide receivers did I name?
Hold on. Let's see what NWI has done this year.
Nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. He's blocking in Miami.
I think George Pickens multiplied what NWI has done all season by like 20 last night.
Hold on. Wow. He's exceeding my expectations.
Is he?
No. 11 catches, 89 yards. No touchdowns.
What if he had like 9 touchdowns like he did last year? Because it's not like he had a bunch of catches last year. He just kept catching them in the end zone.
Pickens went 9 for 144 and a touchdown last night.
Ricky on YouTube, where you can interact with the show, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, says, we're bad talking about the Titans when us, talk about the Raiders. Yeah, man. I mean, what do you want me to say? I went to Mike McCoy's press conference yesterday. He was grilled again about being too conservative. There was nothing there. He stood firm in his decision. He was asked if he regretted his lack of aggressiveness in this game the way that he regretted his lack of aggressiveness in the Colts game. He said, no, I regret nothing, which made me laugh.
I don't think this was on the same level as the Colts.
It's not, but he is putting together a pattern of behavior that says, okay, are you actually in a situation, are you coaching from 2 decades ago, essentially, because you're coaching every game like it's, like there's wind gusts of 40 miles an hour outside, you're playing in Buffalo in the snow. Like, it doesn't need to be this white-knuckling each and every week, 13-13, just to try and squeak it out at the end when you have multiple 4th and 2 opportunities, and you just can't get yourself to go for it. Now, the other part of it, yesterday, if you want any kind of Titans positivity, and I'll give you some, I think that Jihad Ward is one of the best influences on that locker room. He's on a 1-year deal. I would love to see him back. Some of the comments that he had yesterday, Lucas, you haven't had a chance to listen to them. I think you'll enjoy him and enjoy what he has to say about the situation. Also, some glaring commentary from both Jihad Ward and Arden Key about what it is to try and reach young guys in the locker room. And they're not specifically or explicitly saying the name J.C. Latham, but the fact that J.C. Latham is in a situation where it doesn't feel like there are veterans who are reaching him effectively. Lloyd Cushenberry talked to us yesterday and who expressed his embarrassment at how bad they have been as a unit. And Lloyd said, I just have to keep on him, talking specifically about JC. And then very quickly did the thing that Ben Jones advises that all players do, which is take accountability, because Lloyd had not a good game and had a false start in that game beyond giving up, 5 pressures individually. The fact that we're talking about JC Latham as a potential problem child here, along with the Calvin Ridley contract and the L'Jarius Sneed contract and Jarvis Brownlee gone from the roster. The Rand Carthon 2024 experience is aging like old milk at this point. 615-737-1045 is the number. You have headlines?
Yep.
They're next. It's like an airplane taking off. What will take off is your finances if you trust Trajan Wealth, because they will not only give you a plan or multiple plans or options to succeed as far as achieving that financial independence. If you are currently getting financial advice from elsewhere, they will offer you a free second opinion to see if they can't better your circumstance. The holiday season is already upon us, but it's still not too late to check this year's financial resolution off your list. Give Trajan Wealth a call today to start achieving those financial goals. If you think you have things in good shape, Trajan Wealth will give your plan a second look, and it may turn out that there are other big opportunities that you're missing. You will get a clearer path to retirement and way more peace of mind. They're fiduciaries, which means they'll put your needs first. You should call them today at 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000 in Brentwood or Franklin here in Middle Tennessee, or online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We have been informed by Terry McCormick that L&N, so the stadium's name is what? L&N Bank Stadium?
Federal Credit Union.
Okay. That is the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. So Louisville and Nashville Railroad Federal Credit Union, I guess. I did not know that was a thing. Well done by Terry McCormick.
Look at the big brain on Terry. He can work Google.
Terry's still very upset with us for the way that we talked about the World Series, where we said, did anybody watch the longest and one of the best games ever played in baseball? And all three of us said no.
Well, those two things kind of conflict, don't they? The longest and best? I think the best are 7 inning games.
just want to start hacking away at more baseball to get you to still not care about baseball. Either way.
Famously, I said on 3HL, I'd rather watch my own conception than watch that World Series.
You did say that.
Famously.
Love you, Mama.
It was a classic World Series, I will say.
You didn't watch it.
I watched some of
I
it.
know you did.
I watched Game 7.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I felt for our Blue Jays fan friend, Brett Kern, because that was a heart-wrenching way to lose the World Series.
Brett wasn't even that upset about it. It's Buffalo just happens to be closer to Canada than the rest of the country. So he said, Blue Jays kind of whatever. Speaking of baseball, Jonathan has a baseball rule that is applicable to football before we get to headlines. All right. What do you got, Jonathan?
Yes. In baseball, if you want to walk a batter intentionally, you don't have to waste time and throw 4 pitches. So in football, can we just apply that and not play the games and say it's a loss for the Titans?
Just sim to the end? Thank you for the call.
Yeah, I mean, why waste everybody's time? Why waste television revenue? Why waste all you guys' time? It's going to be a loss. Just say, okay, we lost the last 9 games and adopt the baseball rule.
I've never been more for baseball rules in football than I am right now. I agree with you. Sim to the end. Just let it be over. Robert was consoling the two of us yesterday by saying, guys, it's really not so bad. It's almost over. We're almost a drafted free agency. Like, we want to do that again for 6 months.
I like that.
No, I know you do, buddy. But Lucas doesn't, and it's like pulling teeth to get him to do anything draft-related until we actually get to the draft.
Yeah, like it's doing draft stuff in November is like pulling teeth.
It's a lot of info. You got to learn these guys. Me and Stoney were texting yesterday about guys. You just got to learn them. It's like moving to a new school, and you don't know anybody. And it's like, oh, that girl's cute. She goes to Texas Tech. What's her deal? Oh, she's an edge rusher. Like, you have to learn everybody's names.
What
and
is
their
Shamar
hobbies.
Stewart up to these days?
Getting his bleep rocked by who's the right tackle from Tennessee that plays for the Bears?
Darnell Wright.
Oh my God! Block of the year? It literally took him 4 gaps over just to pancake him, and still managed to block another guy on the same play.
I think he's on injured reserve now. I think that really messed him up.
Yeah, broken pride. Shut him down for the season. He has not been good, Shamar Stewart. All right, you have headlines? Wait.
Oh, yeah, hold on. What in the world? What in the world? What in the world?
Damn
acapella
minute.
I'll do it acapella.
Can you?
It's time.
Is that the Monday Night Football music?
No, that was JBL's entrance music. It's the only thing I get in my head. You messed me up, dude.
It's time.
It's time for NFL headlines with Lucas Panzica.
The fade out. So, we mentioned.
Oh, sorry, wrong spot.
Last night. Turn it down. The Cowboys benched CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens for the opening drive on Monday Night Football in a 33-16 win against the Raiders. That score makes it look a lot closer than the game actually was. Brian Schottenheimer informed the players of the disciplinary action earlier Monday. He said, quote, there were some things that were missed. So had a conversation with those guys, and that was easy. They didn't hang their heads, didn't do any of that stuff. That's why I love those guys. And CeeDee Lamb, when asked about it, said, I'm not going into depth on that. Honestly, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not. Pickens also would not elaborate on what happened. Now, both were good in the game. Pickens was sensational in the game, but just kind of a weird situation where the Cowboys have the football and the way the camera kept cutting to them sitting next to each other on the bench like they were in timeout was undeniably funny, but they came back out and played the rest of the game. And this has happened kind of across the league. We saw it with Keon Coleman, who missed a meeting. I don't know if it's something that had built up in Buffalo, but he was a healthy scratch this past week for the Bills. Keon Coleman did not play. Not exactly a team in Buffalo that is chock full of wide receiver depth.
So has anybody done a better job? And listen, the Cowboys are not good, right? They still have a defense that it's 16 points to the Raiders, but even against that Raiders team, like 16 points feels like a lot. And the Cowboys defense, they were averaging before last night damn near 31 points per game. It was 30.8 coming into the day. So I'm not going to say that Brian Schottenheimer has done, leaps and bounds better than anybody expected him to. But I think he's done a relatively good job given the circumstance that he's been handed where Micah Parsons has been traded away, where you have, I would say that George Pickens, is it unfair for me to call him a difficult personality type?
No. I mean, that has been a pretty common trend throughout his football career.
But he's been a good soldier the whole way through, and to your point, they put him in timeout yesterday, literally put him in timeout, him and CeeDee Lamb together, and Schottenheimer is handling the situation as best as one could expect. If you're too hot to handle for Mike Tomlin, and you're going to Brian Schottenheimer, and you're looking around and being like, oh, yeah, George Pickens will really thrive in that atmosphere, and he actually has. Like, their offense is excellent. Brian Schottenheimer's side of the ball is the offense. I think that Brian Schottenheimer has done a really, really good job, and I think most people looked at him and been like, oh, this is just another putz that Jerry Jones stuck in the coach's chair to just kind of do what he says. And I think he's handled the situation pretty damn well.
Well, yeah, I no question the Marshawn Nealon situation. Like, how do you even begin to handle that as a head coach? And they had the bye week after that tragic situation happened 2 weeks ago. Just a devastating spot to be in. But they come out of it and bounce back. Clearly an emotional performance. Their schedule moving forward, though, is brutal.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys host the Eagles. They host the Chiefs. They go to Detroit. They host the Vikings, host the Chargers, go to Washington, and go to New York to finish the season. So last two games, you ease up a little bit with some of the bad teams in your division, but that stretch run there of Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, all one after the other, are going to determine whether or not the Cowboys are in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, the standings right now, Dallas is the 10th best team, or at least is slotted as the 10th ranked team, for lack of a better term, in the NFC. With Carolina, who had Carolina at 6-5? Who had the Panthers with a better record than the Chiefs through more than half of the season this year? That's just a crazy circumstance. The NFC playoff picture right now, especially with the Rams beating the Seahawks, Philly, LA, Chicago, Tampa Bay would be your top four seeds. Then wild cards, Seattle, Green Bay, and San Francisco, who, again, Kyle Shanahan should be the coach of the year.
Yeah, San Fran 7-4, Seattle 7-3, LA 8-2. That division is still very tightly contested. Tampa and Carolina at the top of the NFC South. Tampa has the lead at 6-4, but only because they have a game in hand. But those two divisions in the NFC are going to be fascinating to see how they play out the rest of the way, where, the NFC East is all but decided with the Eagles at the top of it. NFC North, I mean, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago all have either 6 or 7 wins so far in the year. So it's kind of crazy how many divisions are going to come down to the wire, especially in the NFC. Where in the AFC, Denver has a pretty good grasp on it. They've got a 2-game lead over the Chargers, but it seems as though the Chiefs' run of 9 straight AFC West titles is going to come to an end. They are 5-5, Denver 9-2 after the Broncos edged out Kansas City at Mile High Stadium on Sunday.
It's a sad place for Chiefs fans to exist, where you're having to debate the merits of tiebreakers with the Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars for postseason implications. And they lost to Jacksonville. They are in a situation where they're trying to figure this out, and Mahomes is throwing picks that are uncharacteristic. Travis Kelce, we've done this for a couple of years now, where regular season Travis Kelce just looks like a ghost of himself, and he'll turn it on during the postseason. But they're not guaranteed to make the postseason.
Mahomes was just missing some wide open guys
At
in
this
that
point
game.
in time. It's a weird game. Did anybody have a better win this weekend than Denver, who, again, is atop the AFC with New England? New England and the Broncos both have a record of 9-2. But right now, with a strength of victory and one more conference win, Denver has the tiebreaker for the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah, Denver and L.A., the Rams, in a massive divisional matchup against Seattle, but that division is still going to be a photo finish down the stretch. So, yeah, Denver, I think, 22-19, and they avenged that Chiefs loss because he felt like it was setting up last year. Remember, I think it was the game at Mile High Stadium against Kansas City. Denver got it down for like a 35-yard-ish field goal for the win, and it gets blocked by Kansas City. Chiefs win. This time they make it, and they move to 9-2.
Adam on YouTube says Vrabel is most likely to be the coach of the year. Have you ever seen a coach get asked to do the Thursday Night Football post-game broadcast like that? Like they're clearly interested in Mike Vrabel. He's up there with Drake May, but I don't think I've seen a coach do that post-game interview before, like on the desk with the rest of them. And they're all just glowing over Vrabel, even though Drake May is an MVP candidate sitting right there next to him. And I'm not saying that it's not deserved. Like, they've clearly done a good job in New England. But if it's on merit, it should be Kyle Shanahan this year over Steichen, Vrabel, and McDonald. I don't know if anybody had a better loss than Seattle did, if we're to kind of college football this, because they were in it to damn near the end. And
despite 4 interceptions by Darnold.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's as good of a loss as I've seen this year, even though, obviously you understand that it's a critical loss for them for postseason implications.
Does it also feel like a galvanizing loss? Like the way the team responded in the press conference, Ernest Jones going up and saying, like, hey, Darnold has had us in every single game this year, so we are going to have his back in this situation.
Did you see the quote? I don't want to screw it up because it's really, really good, but it was like, well, respectfully, if you have anything to say about Sam Darnold, bleep you.
Yeah.
Like he said, respectfully, bleep you.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. You threw 4 picks on offense and still had the football with a chance to drive for a game-winning field goal on the road against the Rams. That's got to be a good feeling for Seattle.
You know who's going to bear the brunt of that this weekend?
Seattle is coming to Nashville this weekend. Still a lot more headlines and not enough time.
Splattering.
Speaking of suspensions and benchings, Abdul Carter, the number 3 overall pick, was benched by the Giants for the first possession Sunday after missing a team walkthrough because he was asleep at the facility. And I don't think it's the first time that it's happened, a being late to meetings issue with Carter, the rookie edge rusher out of Penn State. So also something to kind of keep an eye on. Jamar Chase.
Oh, wait, before you move on. And also, don't do Jamar Chase.
Oh, that's your oh no?
Yeah, come on. What are you doing?
Okay.
Before we move on, a report came out from Adam Schefter an hour ago. New York Giants first-round pick Abdul Carter vehemently denied Tuesday that he slept through the walkthrough practice last week and said he was getting treatment at the time of the walkthrough, called it a, quote, honest mistake. I don't think you're getting benched for getting treatment. So somebody's lying here, and I think it's Abdul Carter.
Hey man, this is what Arden and Jihad Ward are talking about. Like, young guys. I don't want to, because we're Lucas is the only. Wait, no, you're 30 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt it in my knee this morning.
In my knee.
Play soccer this week or something?
I do tonight.
What did you walk upstairs?
My tendonitis is acting up.
You have to tie your shoe?
Lucas's body is more broken down than either of us, and that's saying something.
What are you talking about? My body's a temple, dude. This is peak male athleticism. My belly is smoother than all of y'all's.
Well, indisputably.
But my butt is probably lumpier.
Can you name there is only one team that has been eliminated from division title contention. That is the Tennessee Titans. They are the only team in football that is mathematically eliminated from winning their respective division after this week.
Aaron Rodgers sounds like he's going to try to play this weekend. Wrist injury last week in a win over Cincinnati. They play the Bears. A left wrist injury. According to Ian Rappaport, he is pushing to play in this game. It sounds like it's a fracture, the injury to Rodgers.
Make that old man sit down. I don't want to see him out there with a fractured wrist. That's so stupid.
It's his non-throwing hand.
It is his non-throwing hand.
Even still, he's 41.
Mason
Rudolph.
Win
this division, Buck.
It's another tightly contested division.
They've got to keep pace.
Let Mason Rudolph go out there and, 10-6 his way to a victory. Who do they play this weekend, you said?
They're at the Bears this weekend, and then they follow that up with a home game against Buffalo and then a trip to Baltimore.
Oh, the Bears defense sneaky bad.
Well, it seems like, I don't know if you guys watched the tail end of that game after Rodgers had to come out. If you could defend the screen, then you can defend Mason Rudolph, because that seemed all that Arthur was comfortable in calling for him. So I wonder if the Bears, what their percentage against screens are.
Are those the headlines?
Those are the headlines.
All right, very good. 615-737-1045 is the number. Robert, do I have things to give away?
Boy, do you. Were you guys fans of Rascal Flatts growing up?
Of course.
I miss Mayberry.
You know, not to hear the songs, but Rascal Flatts live hits. Like, they are awesome as a live show.
Well, that's not what we have to give away, but just kidding. It is 2 tickets to go see Rascal Flatts at Bridgestone Arena February 5th to go along with your $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. If you can tell us what made you say, oh no, in sports.
615-737-1045 for those 2 tickets to Rascal Flatts and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Like Robert mentioned, if you tell us what in sports made you say, oh no. for the opportunity, and apparently it's a hot ticket because a lot of you have called in to win it, for 2 tickets to an upcoming Rascal Flatts show. What was the date, Robert? I'm sorry.
February 5th.
February 5th, so not too far away. And a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. What in sports made you say, oh no? 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate. We will get to those here shortly. I am going to go with not Jimmy Butler, but a situation that Jimmy Butler was involved in. Lucas, you have not seen this video?
No idea what you're talking about.
Robert, this video is censored for FM radio?
I hope so.
Okay, let's find out together. So it's a viral video showing Jimmy Butler he's walking on the street. He's got his AirPods in. He's clearly on the phone. And some guy in a car pulls up on Jimmy Butler, rolls his window down, and starts verbally accosting him because this person, just a civilian it seems, needed Jimmy Butler to hit his over of 30 points in a game. This is how the exchange went.
Green apple looking at, stupid big ass Tim's on. Jimmy Butler, man, they don't give a in that city. Look at him. Mo Prime, look at that. Yeah. Bro, I put 3,000 to win 30. Why you ain't have 30 perks? Jimmy Butler, why you did not have a 30 perks? You were supposed to go over, You work for Vegas. You work for Vegas.
You work
Oh, my God.
for Vegas. Green apple looking ass. He's wearing like a lime green like jumpsuit type of thing. It's a little funny if it wasn't
No, that's messed up.
so problematic that some dude is just pulling up on you, rolling the window down and screaming obscenities at you because you work for Vegas. No, sir, he does not. I'm so sorry.
That's terrible.
Also, 30 perks. He's talking about 30 points. That's what he's saying. But yeah, that was my, oh no, a better pulling up on Jimmy Butler because his bet didn't hit over 30 points. Also, if you're putting that much money on an over of 30 points, like I know it's the NBA and Jokic has 55 and like, Lauri Markkanen had like a 47-point game the other night. But let's not be accosting the athletes because you didn't hit your bet.
Good for Jimmy not engaging.
He just walked by.
Yeah,
he's just like, he's like on the phone. But like, again, the problem is some random dude is pulling up on Jimmy Butler,
crazy.
Rolling down the window. You don't know what that guy's
No
gonna
idea.
do.
Yeah, it could be a psycho.
And he's disoriented a little bit, Jimmy Butler, because the guy's clearly yelling at him, but he's got his AirPods in because he's on the phone.
That's crazy.
It's a bad situation.
Pulling up on his Dugan. Y'all know what a Dugan is?
I don't.
It's a noggin. You Dugan? You say it. I just want to hear Buck say Dugan.
Dugan.
No, not Dugan. Dugan. Anyway.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah,
Excellent
that's all I
stuff. Did y'all see the state trooper at the South Carolina A&M game?
I did after the fact.
This is what made me say, oh no, in sports this week. So South Carolina, we didn't even talk about this game. South Carolina, who was up 30-3 at the half against A&M. A&M then storms back to win. Insane game. South Carolina, 7th loss of the year. They're out of bowl eligibility. But during the first half, where South Carolina is building this lead, Nick Harbor caught an 80-yard touchdown pass late in the second quarter. That put South Carolina up 27-3. Harbor is a little shaken up after the play, and he's kind of like walking it off with his leg. He kind of does this quick jog into the tunnel. And this state trooper there working for Texas A&M kind of like shoulder checks him. And then other South Carolina players are kind of following Harbor, and he like shoulder checks 2 players and then turns around and starts like scolding and yelling and talking smack to these players as they're trying to walk out of the tunnel. Incredibly embarrassing look for Texas A&M, for this person who was dismissed from the game. And the Texas Department of Public Safety put out a statement saying, quote, they are aware of the incident that occurred. The trooper involved was sent home, and the Office of Inspector General is also aware of the incident and is looking further into the matter. No additional info released at this time. That was as of 2 days ago. I believe since he has been relieved of his duties, his game day duties at Kyle Field, but just an incredibly embarrassing look for A&M, who did end up coming back and winning, and it also ended up being a really bad look for Shane Beamer. That could also be our oh no.
I need to recklessly speculate about that state trooper, please. That guy for sure, when he pointed at the it was a South Carolina player, you said?
Yeah, Nick Harbor, the stud receiver.
When he pointed at Nick Harbor, that guy for sure said boy. Right?
We do not know what he said. Nick
I'm
Harper
recklessly speculating. But that state trooper for sure pointed to that guy and said,
definitely had
listen
that,
here, boy.
Definitely had that kind of energy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, Texas A&M should honor him. He's what did the comeback.
Turn the tide.
Yeah, it was him.
That shoulder check?
It was all him. After that is when Texas A&M started coming back. I don't know why they relieved him of his duties. Jamar Chase is being threatened to be relieved of his duties for a 1-week suspension due to a spit. A big old loogie, big old Haktua he spit into what's that cat's name? Jalen Ramsey's face. Jalen Ramsey was ejected from the game because he punched Jamar Chase in the face. Jamar Chase, after the game, had this to say to defend himself.
He was saying that you spit on him. Did you spit on him?
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy.
So what do you think prompted the reaction from him?
Well, he don't like some of the words I told him. We've been going back and forth the whole time, so I'm sure some got under his skin. First time we had a altercation, and then it was the second time.
What are you saying?
I ain't spit on nobody.
Jamar? Oh, no. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Jamar, what are we really doing here? Because you know that the NFL has cameras, right? You know that we can all see you.
The most high-definition cameras anywhere in the country on television broadcast showing 75 angles of everything.
Do you know that we can see you?
Your relationship with Latasha, have you slept with another woman? You said no. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Determined that was a lie.
God, Mari's so good.
The story keeps getting better because Pro Football Talk reports Jamar Chase reportedly planned to challenge his suspension by saying that if he was going to spit on Ramsey, he would have spit in his face. Pro Football Talk adds, this is likely not a winning argument.
We all saw it. This is so clear as I didn't spit on anybody. Come on.
Just
Come on.
moron behavior from Jamar Chase.
So he is suspended.
Yeah.
But we don't know yet. He's appealing.
He is
and
appealing,
I think
but
he's suspended.
I am going to say two options.
Like Deron Payne punching Amon-Ra St. Brown, appealing it after. We all saw you just swing on him, dude.
You just didn't want to go to Spain. We get it. Or Germany, wherever that game
Spain.
was.
2 3-8 teams in Spain.
Here are my two options. One, Jamar Chase, appeal it. Let him play at the Patriots this week while we hash this out. It definitely needs to be reviewed. And just suspend him the next week. Not sure who the Bengals play in 2 weeks. Or we could just suspend him for 2 weeks if we decide this is too heinous. But one game, the people obviously aren't learning their lessons because we already had Spitgate this year.
Oh, they happen to play the Ravens on Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
That's such serendipity.
Oh, I didn't notice that. But anyway, you've got to act like a little with a little more tact if you're going to be in the National Football League. A 2-week
Or just don't lie about it. I mean, yeah, I spit on it. I spit on a guy.
I'll spit on you too. I'll spit on anybody. Come in, say it to my face. I'll spit on you. Zach Taylor comes in. Spit in his mouth. I don't care.
You may feel that way at this point.
That's my old no.
615-737-1045. What made you say, oh no? Let's start with Jordan. And remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win those tickets.
Hey guys, my oh no is Connor Talty, the Alabama kicker, who missed a chip shot field goal and yelled at his long snapper. How about you make the chip shot field goal and be a good teammate? Don't be so salty. Alabama ended up losing by 2 points.
Not a good look.
Jordan sounded like Little Michael.
Who?
Little Michael.
I'm not familiar.
You don't love Little Michael?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a high snap, but yes, I
Don't yell
agree
at
with
the long
Jordan.
snapper.
It's a bad look.
Don't show the long snapper.
Leave the long snapper alone. But it was a high snap.
Rick is in Mount Juliet.
Hey guys, I was going to say the hell no to spit in people's faces. You always play through the whistle. It's a big no. I don't know where that started or where it come from. It's absolutely a no. But since it's already been used, I'm going to say even discussing hiring the Chargers defensive coordinator as the Titans' next head coach, who gave up 35 points in a game last week against Jacksonville. Come on, Titans, you're a property franchise already. Don't make it worse for the season ticket holders. Give us some hope. Hell no, don't hire that clown.
Talking about Jesse Minter.
Yes, the former Michigan defensive coordinator
And Vanderbilt.
who followed. Oh, I forgot he was at Vanderbilt. Yeah, again, the first-year head coach thing, probably not a good idea for a franchise that is in shambles the way that this one is. John is in Nashville.
Hey, fellas. Mine goes out to Jimmy Butler's teammate, Draymond Green, for getting on the guy's face for calling him Angel Reese and kind of comparing his game to Angel Reese.
I am more inclined to side with Draymond Green, even though Draymond Green has received admonishment for confronting a fan. Just what are you doing? If you're a civilian, what are you doing barking at the athletes? Like, other than for a social media moment, because that guy clearly relished the camera being on him while he and Draymond Green were exchanging words. So I think that the athletes should have the right to punch a fan in the face in that specific moment, but that's just me. David in Clarksville.
I don't know is Tennessee Titans media, how out of touch and dysfunctional they are. Before the during the warm-ups, I guess they had Draymond Jones had a song request, and then as they announced.
Wait, are you talking about like the reporters? You talking about like the in-stadium, like
in stadiums when they warming up before the game?
Okay, I got you.
The players are able to request a song.
Yeah,
and they had Draymond Jones requested a song, and then they had J.C. Latham announcing him as Trench King, and then you go out there and get your butt kicked. And then also under J.C. Latham, they had him playing for Ohio State for 7 years underneath his name.
I did not see that.
The Draymond Jones doesn't play for the Titans anymore.
Correct.
I think that's what he's saying. So they played a song that Draymond Jones requested.
I don't know when the last time you've been at the stadium, but like during the pregame warm-up, they got music playing, and it says this player on the Titans team picked this song. So,
I got you.
There's a lot of criticisms of the Titans in-game atmosphere. They're 1-9. They are easy to beat up on, but yeah, I mean, there's a number of different things you could pick from that they don't do particularly well to help the environment. Is it Janelle in Columbia?
You got it.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I was going to say Josh Jacobs' knee injury for Green Bay was a definite heartbreak for Green Bay, and going to be hard on them now without him for a little while.
Yes, Josh Jacobs is a very reliable player. Do we have any kind of idea of how much time he might miss?
No surgery.
Yeah, no surgery. Better news than expected was what the report was.
To be day to day.
And one more for Ricky before we pick a winner here. What do you got, Ricky?
I got Calvin Ridley's broken leg in the first play of the game. That was just killer. It alleviates one less target for Cam Ward.
Yeah, hated to see that.
I really feel bad for Calvin, and I know he hasn't done a great job since he's been here, but nobody deserves that, especially if you come back from injury in a season where you're not going anywhere anyway in the first play.
Who gets the tickets?
I'd go with Ricky just for his dulcet tones. That guy could read
Did
audio.
have a good voice. I like Jordan, the Bama kicker, yelling at the long snapper.
Yeah, that's good. I like that too.
I'm going to say Calvin Ridley. I'm going to say Ricky.
So Jordan gets the ticket.
All right. Well done, Ricky. Enjoy the Rascal Flats concert.
See,
and
now
the
they're not gonna get
$100 gift card.
They're both the only ones left.
To a moment's peace.
Who's Bert going to pick?
Salon and Day Spa. Ricky won.
Okay.
Jordan won.
I love both of you guys, though. Whoever doesn't get a phone pickup for me, Jordan.
What are you, Russian rouletting your way through the giveaways back there?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Well done. So we are going to replay our conversation with Ben Jones yesterday because apparently there's a corporate Zoom that we all need to be on during the middle of the radio show, which is not ideal, but Ben was really good. And so you'll hear that entire conversation coming up next. All right, second hour is upon us, and we have a corporate Zoom to be a part of with the CEO of Cumulus, so our entire Nashville cluster, including us, even though we're on the air right now. I'm live right now, hanging out with you guys, but we have to be a part of it. So instead of us, replaying something or cutting something that was done earlier in the day that has no bearing on the rest of your lives, we will play for you Ben Jones and his Monday visit with us, where we talked about J.C. Latham, Jeff Simmons' comments, some college football, all good stuff. Always good to visit with Benny. Figured that would be a more productive use of your time. We will be back before the end of the hour, so hang out and enjoy Ben Jones. Well, which is something that I think fans almost become numb to, the idea of consistency as a professional athlete, right? Yeah. Because you talked about that, what you're looking for from Cam when you came in here with us last week. And, immediately Cam makes the 38-yard throw to Chig that puts him in a first and goal situation. They're able to finally punch it in for a touchdown. God knows it's been a while since they've had a touchdown. And to tie the game with Mike McCoy kicking the extra point and at least set themselves up for an opportunity to win. Defense can't get a final stop, and Nico Collins does what he does for the game-winning field goal. But still, the idea of consistency versus clutch, it is so much more important. Or Ben, maybe you could speak to the level of importance of a four-quarter consistent performance, even if it's a little more monotonous, than one big throw at the end of the game that might give you a chance to win.
Yeah, I think they had 5 3-and-outs yesterday. It was just both teams. It was a defensive battle. You got to know what you're going into. That is by far the best D-line in the league. Those two edge rushers, you know what you're getting into. You talk about Hunter on the edge. I think he has the highest win percentage on pass rush downs. Like, he is one of those guys that you circle like 3 times during the season. Like, man, I got to play this guy. What's our game plan for him? How are we going to stop him? And I felt like we'd come out, run the ball 3 or 4 yards, incomplete pass, sack, punt. And they were kind of doing the same thing. It was just back and forth the whole game. Like, I don't know if were you worried about that? Like, hey, I'm not going to take these shots. I'm not going to try to hold the ball early in the game. Like, find a way to get your playmakers the ball on first down, get your first down of the drive, and everything's kind of smoother. We just couldn't get in a rhythm early right there, and it came down to, hey, we needed to make a stop at the end of the game to go to overtime. We couldn't get it. But you got to give it credit to those guys on defense. They play extremely hard. Jeff and Arden coming back. Those guys know their season's over, and they're out there still fighting. Like, that's the leaders you want. That's the guys you want around the team. And those are the guys, when it's not going good, you circle around and, hey, these are our guys, and let's focus on what can we do each week to try to get a little better.
They couldn't really get out of the gates in the run game, right? Yeah. Only ended up netting 58 yards. Cam ends up being their lead rusher with 33, 20 of that on that last 95-yard drive to go tie it up. So how much harder is that for Cam Ward to try and get just some sort of momentum going in the second half on offense when the rush game has been almost completely negated? And how did that kind of inform the way you watched the second half and what you thought about Cam and how he closed it out?
Yeah, I feel like when we were in run formations, run downs, you could see their linebackers, their D-line, they were out there to stop the run. When they saw run action, their middle linebackers were hitting our fullbacks, hitting our tailback in the backfield. There was a purpose. They had a mindset coming into the game. They're not going to run the ball. We want to get in third and second and long, but so our best players on the team can rush the passer. And that's what they did. They had a game plan on defense, and they stuck to it. Anytime run action, anything, they were humming downhill. And you got to give them credit. They played well on defense, and they put us behind the sticks pretty much the whole game. And you got to give them the credit. They played well on defense.
What did you see from Cam in this game? What are your ultimate takeaways on his performance?
Yeah, you see he missed some throws, but some of that, how many reps is he getting with Mason Kinsey in a game? Like, has Mason even repped that play in the week? You got to think
Cam said he hadn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, so you don't know the timing, if he's looking the right way. You give Mason, he works extremely hard, does everything they're asking for him. He's taken 1 million scout team rep. He takes every special team rep, but he's probably never ran that route. He sees it in film. That's probably the only time he's seen it is watching it during practice. So, yes, the timing's not going to be right. He might not look the right way. So you can't give all that against Cam. Yes, Cam's going to say the right answer. Hey, I should have put it on him. But Cam's done it a certain way all week. If it's Kim DK, whoever's ran that route, DK or Alec, whoever ran that route during the week, probably Calvin, honestly. And it's different. Like, you want to build that relationship. Now he's going to have new receivers, I'm sure, this week with other injuries happening. So, yeah, it's frustrating. You want him to see him hit those routes. Everybody's different, and that's the thing. The biggest thing is having the same guys out there every single week, just like O-lineman. You want to play by the same guys? Quarterback wants to have his guys out there so the timing's right. He knows when they're breaking the route, how they're running the route, so it all makes a difference. So I'm giving Cam the benefit of the doubt. Like, yes, that's probably Mason's first time running it, and he's probably not exactly where he was supposed to be, but give him a little grace. Like, yes, you want him to see him make the throws, just put it on him. Cam zips everyone in there, maybe take a little off of it, but I'm by no means a quarterback expert, and he's competing. He's leading, so I'll give him all the grace he needs.
No, but it's about you're speaking to what they are repping during the week, or what they're not getting the opportunity to practice during the week that they are trying to then execute in the game. To your point, Calvin Ridley's gone on the first play of the offense of the offense's
it's hard
opportunity, and so that completely changes everybody else's role, and then you lose DK for a period of time. Again, he was being evaluated for concussion. If you're just now joining us, he is not in the concussion protocol. He's got a chest contusion, so there is an opportunity potentially for him to play next week against Seattle.
That's another good one now, guys.
Coming off a loss, too.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully they're sleepy when they come here. Hopefully it's a long trip and they're tired, because they are really
maybe
good football
delayed
team.
flight a little bit, some turbulence on the flight in. Maybe you're a little queasy by the time you get to Nashville. You need something, because God knows it's going to be tough when you're out there with Van Jefferson and James Prochet. I don't know if or when we will see Xavier Restrepo, but again, the Xavier Restrepo thing, he's got to be able to practice with Cam Ward.
100%. And I was looking at Browns fans talking about, hey, Shadeur's never taken a rep with the ones. Why would he take a rep with the ones? Like, if Cam is your starter, he takes every single rep. Your starting receivers take every single rep in practice. So Browns fans were like, oh, he should have been taking reps. No, he shouldn't have. He started out as the third-string quarterback. He's not going to get reps with those ones. So unless he's the guy, your best players take their meaningful reps in practice. Mason and the other receivers, they're going in practice to take a run rep when the ball's getting handoff. They're going to stalk block, because if it's a third down rep that we got to see a rep, your starters are getting that rep. Mason is not taking those reps. DK's probably not taking a lot of them unless the route is drawn up for him. Like, all those reps are dialed up for certain people. When those certain people are out, it gets hard for you. And you're like, man, do I just throw that play out that we liked on third down, or do we try to see somebody else run it? So you're taking a chance either way.
Their luck has been just beyond being a lesser football team. Their luck has been just atrocious this year across the board.
Yeah, we knew going into the year we didn't have a lot of depth. We had some really good players, and we needed them all to be healthy the whole year, and that hasn't been the case. But you got to give them some credit on defense. Those guys have played with different DBs, I feel like, every week, and they get after the passer. They're doing a pretty good job stopping the run. Like, that front seven is playing. Like, I don't care if Jeff's been in there, Arden's been in there, Ward's been in there, when Draymond was there. Like, whoever was in that rotation, they played as hard as they could every single snap. Yes, they've had some games versus the Colts, but other than that, they've played pretty well on that D-line.
J.C. Latham, we talked a lot about him and his comments post-game.
Damn it, Lucas, I was just in Robert's ear because I said we're going to do J.C. next and we're going to do Jeff here. That's not your fault. You
too slow. Obviously, the penalties.
You're not going to let the caller set it up and then do the 20 segment and
is the call about J.C.?
It's literally say, ask Ben Jones about J.C.
Well, I didn't tell him that. But
okay.
We're a well-oiled machine.
It's a cat fight.
Your thoughts on the second-year right tackle and his performance?
You suck.
Penalties hurt the team. Pass protection.
Should we hear from J.C. Latham first rather than just let Lucas shoehorn himself in the middle of this conversation? Unbelievable.
Lucas, if you need me to help you after this, just let me know. I can handle Buck for you.
He's been not answering my questions for years at this point in time. You handle Buck. Go ahead. Let me hear from J.C. Latham.
What was behind the mental?
Ain't nothing. We called the cadence. We wanted to mix up the cadence to change the procedure. I executed that poorly on two occasions.
So each of those 3 times there was a change in the cadence?
This is the cadence. Like, you kind of vary the cadence in general. So it's like, I'm not saying, I don't remember vividly what each cadence was, but I'm saying, like, we want to execute the cadence.
Did you feel like you had to be a little bit jumpier going against the rushers you were going against?
There are premier rushers, but I mean, you want to get out the ball, so I wouldn't say you want to jump it.
How much you feel like you hurt the team with the 4 penalties overall?
I don't know the stats on it.
So that is J.C. Latham in the locker room yesterday. You are an expert at saying the right thing anytime you are in a situation where media is asking you about things, much to my detriment for many, many years.
Yeah, be brief, be short when you're in the wrong. When you had a good game, say even less. So you don't want any attention to you as an offensive lineman. When you make mistakes, it happens. Own up to it and move on.
So he went back and forth on it, right?
He's young.
And I don't want to hammer him, Ben, when he's dealing with this, but this isn't the first time, right, where he's being asked earlier in the season when he has the injury against Denver about his status for a Sunday game. And he kind of pauses and he says, I'm not going to play on like a Wednesday. And then he gets talked to very shortly afterwards by PR and people like that because it's giving up at least a degree of competitive advantage. And you got to know, don't talk about injuries, even if it's something that everybody in the world in the facility knows.
No doubt.
You need to teach a course on this. Why don't they contract you out like we have around here? Why don't you go and teach a media training course to the Titans organization? Again, to my detriment largely, but still.
Yeah, you don't talk about injuries. You don't compare yourself to other people. You don't bring any attention to yourself. You talk about the team, what it takes to win. It's certain things you say and you learn as a veteran, as a guy. I was like the only person allowed to talk for the offensive line for 4 years at Georgia. So I knew what to say. I was a robot. Like, hey, we're going to get better, trying to get better. That team's really good on the other side. I literally said the exact same thing for 4 years. So you know what happens? Y'all stop talking to me, which is great. But yeah.
Except when you start snapping them low.
Other than that, yeah, so no doubt, like, I understand.
That's the one time I think I saw you get mad.
Yeah, elbow's dislocated over here. I'm in the arm brace, and y'all going to ask how my snaps were. I just wanted to punch all y'all. I'm like, oh, you don't see this tape, this brace, everything's not working over here. You want me to snap between my legs, left hand, and throw it over the shoulder? Yes, y'all asked the question. I'm just like, are you kidding me? So y'all know how to push some buttons and do all that. But JC, love you to death. Like, young guy. You just got to constantly getting better. Like, yes, you're going to have some false starts. Yes, you're going to have some holding penalties. You're blocking the best D lineman in the league. Like, yes, you're going to have some growing pains. Be consistent with your answers. Just, hey, I got to get better. I got to focus. I'm young. I just need to focus a little more. I got to get a better routine. If it's Friday, if it's Thursday practice, like going into the week. If it's my guard next to me, relaying the count, like Nate Davis, his whole role for me was to remind me on the snap count every play, because I was making all the checks, doing all this stuff. Right before the snap count start, he would give me my code word. And I knew, like, hey, whatever our code word was that week, that was a 1. If it was on 2, if it was our dummy cadence, if it was a slow cadence, that was Nate's role. And he was the best at it. Like, he was so consistent, and that was one thing I could take off my plate during a game, and that was his role.
Yeah, and obviously I don't know what that looks like for Zeitler and for Cushenberry, but they do have vets there, Ben, that should help even this out. And I understand what Cam is saying about, a fault on him. And he's, again, Cam Ward is an expert, it seems, in saying the right things and being the kind of accountable that you would like every football player to be if you're somebody in that locker room. But the fact that the 3 false starts, holding
happens.
Holding happens. I'm not 100%. As concerned about the holding, but the 3 false starts at home in front of a crowd that's just kind of...
It's frustrating. That's when you really got to self-reflect and like, hey, what do I need here? Like, Lawan, love my guy Lawan to death, but he had attention span about this big, and he knew it. Like, he'd be at the line talking his trash, trying to remember the play, and all of a sudden you could see the light go off. What? Ben, what's count? On 1, Mom, Dad, we had all these different code words, and he would just start going through them. Mom, Dad, Moon, and I'm like, yes, Taylor, yes. Now everybody knows the snap count.
Squirrel?
Yeah, no doubt. We had a million code words, and everybody needs that. Like, Taylor blocked his tail off. He was a great guy in the locker room. He brought everybody together. And if he needed help on the snap count, I found a way to give him the snap count on Sunday. So everybody needs something. Like, you find your person around you. If it's the guy next to you, if you have to skip a player, like, find somebody to help you out. And so these things don't reoccur.
What else would you like to sandbag the segment with?
Ooh,
Go
hold
Dogs!
on. Wait. I got you. Last segment, Tim called in and didn't really know what he wanted to say, so I made this. I'll even let YouTube hear it.
Crickets here, guys? Do you want me to sing today? Is it that bad over here, guys? It's almost Christmas. It's Christmas time in my house, so chestnuts are roasting on an open fire. Tennessee Vandy's right around the corner. I know we're excited here.
Could you not hear the music he was playing?
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh, are you not plugged in?
I don't know.
Oh, you big dope.
I wanted to keep that going.
He was like, what in the world? What does y'all want me to sing?
It was kind of more.
All right, so that's a portion of our conversation with Ben Jones yesterday. Lucas and Robert and I are all still in this corporate Zoom, so we're going to continue with more of Ben Jones' visit with us yesterday, and hopefully we'll be done with this in the next 10 minutes, if not before then. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Lucas, Robert, and I are still in the midst of this Zoom that the entire cluster is a part of with Cumulus Corporate and the company CEO. So what we've been doing is we've been playing you a bit of our conversation with Ben Jones yesterday. Ben Jones has, in fact, texted me and said, it's so weird driving around and hearing myself talk. Well, Benny, a few more minutes there, and then we'll wrap this thing up. We're supposed to be done by 11:30, and then we'll be back with you live and in person. So, speaking of things that you say in front of media or things that you don't, I'm sure that you have at least heard or seen the Jeff Simmons commentary by now.
Yep.
But for the audience who may just be joining us, I would like to hear from Jeffrey Simmons and play this audio for Ben Jones. Of course, Ben and Jeff were teammates for a period of time during Ben's time on the Titans roster and had, I'm sure, plenty of fun practice battles, maybe not so fun practice battles, between Jeffrey and that offensive line unit that you guys had at the time. But Jeff Simmons is tired of losing, and now he's at least having more pointed public criticism of both sides of the ball.
Can't have that many false starts. We need to be better. I mean, we can't keep sitting up here saying the same thing, trying to sugarcoat it for the media, for anybody. And I said it in the locker room, I said it on the field. I'm tired of sugarcoating it. I mean, we need to be better. At the end of the day, we need to protect Cam better. Simple.
How do you guys feel as a defense when knowing if you give up 2 touchdowns or or whatever, that's going to be hard to win?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's about complementing football. We have to play better team football. Sometimes the offense will be playing good, sometimes the defense, but how can we play good as a team, 3 phases? We not playing good team football right now, and it's showing. And Mike said it at practice Friday. We had freaking 4 false starts Friday. We playing at home. We shouldn't have that many false starts. Don't care. Like I'm tired of saving feelings. I'm tired of losing. That's what I'm tired of doing. I mean, guys on this team fighting. Reed fighting. Arden, we fought all the way back from injuries. That's because the team and this game means so much to us. Everybody had to take that same approach. Take this approach. We grown men. Everybody have a job to do, and we need to attack this game. We need to attack every day with a better attitude. And like I said, we need to play better football as a team. But we're not.
Ben, 4 false starts in a Friday practice. What does a Friday practice look like?
Fast and it's a mental day. Like, you're in and out. Everything needs to be. It's your final dress rehearsal for a game. Like, it's supposed to go as smooth as possible.
Well, they did that. It looked like it did on Sunday.
Yeah, so that's the most frustrating practice for a coach if it doesn't go right. And for us, we held it to such a high standard that if anything went wrong that day, it was the lack of focus, what was going on. Like, you were getting called out right away, but, hey, what are you doing on Thursday nights? What are you doing? What do you got coming on Friday afternoon? Like, what is taking your attention from the most important day of practice? And that's what Jeff's doing. He is calling people out because he is the leader of that team. He has a voice. He does it the right way, and he's holding people accountable. JC's a first-round pick, got ultimate, unreal amount of talent, and he's just putting the finger on him because he knows JC can be better. That's what a good teammate does, and JC's going to go out there. He's going to listen from it, and he knows Jeff means no harm from it. He's just calling a spade a spade. And we got to be better as a team. We got to focus on Friday because this leads over to Saturday, and that's when it looks bad. If it doesn't happen during the week and it comes up just in the game, it's okay. Like, hey, we got to fix this next week. But if it happened during the week and it bleeds over to the game, that's when you point the finger at yourself and like, hey, I need to fix this.
Ben Jones is in studio. Your Dogs, 35-10. A lot closer than the score would indicate, but it did feel like just a professional job by Georgia. Just sending Texas packing, put the clamps down. Even in the times where that game was close and it's a 2-score game, It felt like it was a lot more lopsided than that. I don't know if it 35-10 was kind of the, you come away thinking that's a blowout. Texas was never in it. They were, but it did feel like Georgia kind of got back their defensive mojo in this game.
Yeah, we played well. That was the first game we played from the start to the finish. We came out, we scored two of the first 3 drives. I think we were up 14-3, pretty much the whole game. Texas come back and answered late in the third. We got the ball back, went down, and that's complimentary football. That's what Jeff's been talking about all year. Like, hey, they made it. They went out there and got a score. What did the offense do? Went out there and scored. Then Kirby put the dagger in them, kicked an onside kick. Another phase stepped up. They saw something, they got the ball back, went down, and the offense got it back and scored again and put it away right there. That's how you play complementary football, and then you take the momentum and take full advantage. You didn't go down there and go 3 and out. You didn't go down there and kick a field goal. You took advantage of the momentum, and you won at home when you're supposed to.
Did you watch much of the Oklahoma-Alabama game before that?
That was a good game. I enjoyed watching that one.
It was a good game. It is a game that we will talk about the implications for Vanderbilt, who had a bye. And all right, I'm tired of that. We're done with the Zoom. Lucas would have deprived you of 10 more minutes of live radio.
I was quite enjoying that segment.
What were you going to do? You're gonna order some lunch? You're gonna go stuff some more peanuts in your face?
Well, actually, hold on. Lucas and I both have to be in a Zoom meeting with her, so you will have to do this segment by yourself.
That's fine. That's my preferred way of operating anyway. So, in the middle of all of that, I think that the thing that is worth talking about most, if we're revisiting anything that Ben said, is J.C. Latham. We mentioned that Arden Key and Jihad Ward both, well, Arden brought it up in the locker room on Sunday. Jihad Ward was asked about it yesterday because when the team plays a game, there's a Monday press conference. If the team loses, the players are in the building. The Titans lose quite a bit now. So every Monday we also talk to players, not just Mike McCoy, and they'll trot 2 players out in front of us. Jihad Ward was one of the 2, Lloyd Cushenberry the other. Both were asked about reaching younger guys and how to impact the situation as veterans. Cushenberry said he's frankly embarrassed about their inability to operate as an offensive line unit so far this year. He included himself, of course, in that because he did not have a good game against the Texans. And Jihad Ward echoed the sentiments of Arden Key, who said on Sunday that it's been difficult to reach younger guys in the locker room and made it more a generational thing. And obviously Arden's talking about the people that he's dealing with on a regular basis, but I did not have JC as somebody that we had to worry about with maturity issues this year.
Yeah, I mean, Ben said it really well, and Lloyd kind of practiced that a little bit yesterday, right? He kind of said what he said and then didn't give us anything else to build off of from it. But
other than it's not satisfactory, and he knows that they have to be better, and his performance was not good enough. Like, that's all it is.
I'd say just look at what the rookie quarterback has done in every single one of those moments. Like, Cam has done a nice job of that this year. Cam was asked about the cadence stuff, and all he did was take ownership of it, right? Even if some of that stuff isn't on him, which it sounds like some of it was. But I have no idea.
He was asked if there was multiple instances. He said he didn't think so. He felt like it was one time.
Cam?
Yes.
Okay. But, yeah,
this was after we talked to JC. So it went McCoy, locker room, Cam.
And there was some clarity on the 4 false starts thing at practice Friday, right? That Mike McCoy talked about that.
So Jeff said 4 false starts.
In the walkthrough.
In a Friday walkthrough, red zone, Mike McCoy said he felt it was 2, and then he stepped in.
And one was a wide receiver?
A wide receiver.
Yeah. So, but Jeff clearly frustrated. And for there to be any sloppiness on a Friday walkthrough, I'm not going to
practice like you play, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a walkthrough. You're standing around in helmets and shorts and T-shirts, okay? Like, it should not be the degree of difficulty. The fact that it's a mental discipline thing that we're still talking about, and that was my follow-up for Lloyd yesterday. Like, hey, why is this still happening? And his answer was, again, concise and accountable to the effect of there's no excuse as to why it's still happening. We have to be better. We are embarrassed by the situation. We are trying to improve on a regular basis.
About the penalties?
About all of it. The fact that they are disjointed. How many weeks has JC been back in the lineup? Since the Titans offensive line has been a healthy unit. Since Zeitler
3?
came back, at least 3, right? At least 3 games has J.C. Latham participated in, and Zeitler been back from injury, and everybody else has been a part of the lineup basically the whole way through. Dan Moore had that issue in Houston in week 4 where he was sick. He still played. So it's been long enough that the offensive line unit, the starting offensive line unit, has been together long enough that there should not be those kind of mental miscues. And Ben talked about what they would have to do for Lawan, what they would have to do in certain situations to try and make sure everybody was on the same page. And Taylor would have false starts, and Taylor would get jumpy and get penalties and all these different things. But that wasn't for a lack of effort on everybody else trying to support Lawan, and Lawan was more good than he was bad. So The fact that multiple guys are speaking out on the idea that as veterans, they're having trouble reaching younger players. And again, they're not mentioning JC by name. Jeff didn't mention JC, but he talked about false starts. Arden did not mention JC or who's a young player. I mean, I don't want to put anybody's name out there that's just young player X, right? I don't think anybody's having issues with Cam Ward in the locker room as far as the ability to reach a younger player. He seems wise beyond his years. He seems to be handling the situation better than a lot of guys have so far this season. But it's an issue that has to be resolved. And the 7th overall pick, JC's got to grow up, and he's got to grow up fast. It's enough of this.
Is it safe to say that maybe chief among the most disappointing things about this, I think we're still kind of in this window of Brian Callahan era.
Yeah. I mean, it's everybody but him and his dad.
The Bill Callahan offensive line experience. That lack of a jump in 2025. Like, to me, that when we talk about this era, obviously we're going to talk about quarterback and offensive football in general, but the general offensive line experience with what Bill Callahan was promised to be, given his resume, and for good reason, has to be right up there at the top.
Sure.
That we're still here talking about that.
I got to fault, because Lloyd Cushenberry was asked, are you still coming back from the Achilles thing? He said, not the Achilles, but I'm working through some other stuff. So if I'm going to take Lloyd Cushenberry at his word, he's battling through injuries, coming off an Achilles tear, and he hasn't been good. The other three, I mean, Zeitler's at the end of his career. He's not as good of a player as he used to be. He's been serviceable enough. Three of the 5 have been fine. Skoronski has been above average. The J.C. Latham is not good, objectively not good, on a couple of different fronts here. And Cushenberry has been underwhelming. I mean, am I gonna knock Bill Callahan for that? Because the 7th overall pick in the draft isn't living up to his billing? I mean, I guess I could if I wanted to. I'm not saying it's exclusively J.C. Latham's fault. But I would probably pin that more on J.C. than I would Bill Callahan, wouldn't you?
Oh, sure. I mean, all of it.
And by the way, Bill was involved in drafting J.C. Bill was on staff. And they were going to take a tackle no matter what. If Alt was there, they would have taken Alt. If Latham was there, they would have taken Latham. Like, it was a tackle at that pick for as bad as the offensive line situation has been. Alt has been clearly the better player. He's also in a significantly better situation. I just, losing affects everybody. It seems to be impacting JC off the field in some form or fashion. And unfortunately for him, he's just going to have to find a way to battle through that mentally. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in on the conversation. We've got our high school football hero, Marshall County running back Tot Gardner. It's a fun name, Tot Gardner, coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We are going to be joined by Marshall County running back Todd Gardner here in just a second. A big win over Dyer County to advance in the 4A Tennessee High School football playoff bracket, TSSAA. Lucas back on the call from ITV 30 with the rest of the crew on Friday. Who do you have?
We are headed to Page High School. Last Friday Night Rivals broadcast of the year as Page takes on Beach. Massive 5A quarterfinal matchup. And Josh Corey steps in on the color. So looking forward to being in the booth with Josh.
If you're not familiar with Josh Corey, he's been I think he's a VP now with the Titans, but he's a former Florida offensive lineman that has been involved with high school football broadcast coverage for a while, very involved in Tennessee State high school engagement, for lack of a better term, and outreach with the Titans.
The husband of one Titans Amy.
That's true, too, yes. So that will be an interesting result, and we will. When is the state finals, and where are they being played this year? Because don't they switch between?
No, it's always in chat. I mean,
hasn't it been at Tennessee Tech?
Well, yes, but the current contract has them in Chattanooga.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so they're at Finley Stadium first week of December. I know Marshall County hopes to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Todd Gardner joins us now. 27 carries for 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. And a 41-14 win over Dyer County, as I mentioned. Todd, thank you for taking some time. You're on a field trip. Where's the field trip today?
We in Nashville.
Okay. What are y'all seeing? Is there anything in particular? They're just taking you through the city, or you got certain stops along the way?
We was going for FBLA. We went to the Titans Stadium.
Okay. So you got to see not only the current Nissan Stadium, but you got to look at the new one. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
I would say so at this point. They're certainly hoping that that's the case. What was working for you guys well as an offense? A dominant win over Dyer County. And I know that's not the ultimate goal. You've got a big one coming up against Pearl Cone this weekend. But what was clicking for you guys on the offensive side of the ball?
I feel like our line executed very well, and we could trust our run game, and they gave Tyler time to drop back and pass the ball when we came down in long distance, and I felt like everything was just flowing together as the offense was getting going.
Is there anything better as a running game than just knowing you're going to go out there and inflict your will upon your opponent?
No, sir. It ain't a better feeling.
That's Todd Gardner with us here on 104.5 The Zone, this week's Tennessee High School football hero, as we work our way through the TSSAA playoffs.
Yeah, Todd Gardner having a huge season for the Marshall County Tigers. I got a chance to see you guys in your win at Columbia on Friday Night Rivals. We had that game on MyTV 30, Todd, back in early September, and you made some pretty flashy plays in that game, too. And I remember your story from last year that you tore your ACL in week 1 of your freshman season.
Sir.
You're only a sophomore, so you've still got a lot of ball to be played in your high school football career. But for you, how much perspective did that kind of give you, missing your whole freshman year and then being able to hit the ground running quite literally in your sophomore year?
Man, it kind of hurt going down first week, and then, I just had to take it, and I was glad that it was at the beginning of my season, then towards later on as a senior, junior, and I just took it over time, and I worked, and it's starting to pay off as it shows.
How much have you enjoyed playing with your quarterback, Tyler Thompson? For those who don't know, they call him Sunshine over at Marshall County. He's got the long flowing hair.
Sunshine.
Florida kid, moved up to Tennessee, calm, cool, and collected. And, man, he's had a huge year following up a massive year last year, a Mr. Football kind of year last year. How much fun has it been playing with Tyler in that offense?
Man, it's fun playing in the backfield with Tyler. I feel like he can pass the ball. He can trust me to run the ball, and he can also run the ball. So it's just nice being in the backfield with a quarterback that just know the game very well.
So the name Tot, where does that come from?
When I was in the womb, I was just tiny, like a tater tot, and they was calling me Tater Tot, and also my granddaddy name was Tater Joe, so they just started calling me Tater Tot, and then started calling me Tot for short.
That's awesome.
That's not too many better nicknames than that. We don't want to keep you too long, and we want to let you get back to your field trip here, Top. But what stands out about the matchup this coming Friday against Pearl Cone?
Man, I feel like they're a good team, and I feel like we're a good team too. So it'll be a good matchup. But I think that we can play smarter ball, play simple ball, and I feel like we can outbeat them with discipline. And I feel like that's something that we're good at. And I feel like we can run the ball up the middle very well on them, and we can also hit our short passes like we did last game. And I just feel like we can come out with the win this Friday.
You guys get to play them at home in Lewisburg. You haven't lost a game at home since the third week of the season. How good has that home field advantage been with y'all's fans over at Marshall County?
Hey, it's been very good. I feel like also we got the home field, so hey, and we ain't lost since week 3, so hey, I think we can keep it going, and I hope we can keep it going.
Well, Todd, we do appreciate you taking the time, buddy, and continued health and success for you guys the rest of the way through. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is Marshall County running back Todd Gardner with us on 104.5 The Zone. Lucas back on the call for My TV 30 with Page High School, as he mentioned, this weekend. What's the so I know how many different levels. Walk me through this like I'm 5. How many different levels of high school football are there? Because I know TSSAA is a little convoluted.
Well, it's D1, which is basically public schools, and you go 1A through 6A.
Yep.
Pretty standard. Division 2 is your private school level, where you have single A, double A, and triple A. So 3 classes within the private school D2 level, where there are some absolute juggernaut football teams. Baylor, I'd say some of the most talented teams in the state are Division 2 private school sector, and that's kind of how it all shakes out. I know every state does it kind of differently. Marshall County pushing forward in the 4A playoffs. A little bit of a revenge factor here. They faced Pearl Cone last year in the postseason, quarterfinal overtime loss at home, 27-21, and it was Marshall County's only loss of the season. Todd Gardner, as we talked to him about, was not on the field, torn ACL. Now he gets to help lead this team into a potential revenge kind of game in the quarterfinal as they push for a spot in the Final Four. So, yeah, they've done a great job over there.
So this weekend or this Friday will determine the Final Four, and then we'll get a little closer to the state championship games.
That's right.
We've talked about this in some form or fashion. You were not playing high school football enough on a team there, or at least long enough on a team that was winless, you said, during your high school career?
0-8 freshman football team. That's correct.
I feel like that informed the rest of your life. That would leave a lasting impact.
My
I would rather play beer league, the lowest level of beer league soccer, and be a champion.
I said, do I want to play a little bit on an 0-8 high school football team, or do I want to play hardly not at all on a state championship contending soccer team? I went with the second one.
Almost every high school sport that we had at my high school played for a state title. We had a couple of kids go deep.
What were you, single A?
Oh, wow.
No, we were
single and a half.
3A, I think, at the time. I think they're now 4A, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, man.
It wouldn't have been your 4A because you weren't playing on those teams.
Unfortunately, the Bishop Chittard, Zach Martin game that we beat them, but nobody won that day against Zach Martin.
The Bishop who?
Chittard.
Sounds like something my father would call me after handing him an Allen wrench.
Blaine went to Bishop. There was another Bishop in Indianapolis.
Blaine went to a Cathedral.
Cathedral, okay.
They have a Bishop in Cathedral.
Cathedral, I think, was where Kyle Rudolph played. There were a bunch of other Notre Dame offensive linemen.
NFL. That's quite the pipeline Cathedral.
But we had a bunch of dudes who ended up like that. There's no better high school sports bracket, I feel like, and maybe I'm biased because it's my favorite sport, but high school basketball in the state of Indiana, given some of the arenas that you get to play in, some of the high school stadiums that have that history, not just the Hoosiers one. But it was as fun a basketball environment as I can remember. Y'all probably wouldn't remember Kyle Curick. He played at Louisville for a long time on those Rick Pitino teams. He went to my high school, and we ended up playing the Zeller brothers, Cody Zeller, Tyler Zeller. There was a third Zeller whose name escapes me. No, I don't think it was Franklin Zeller.
It was Franklin. Look it up. Franklin Zeller. They called him Frank. Frank Zeller.
Not true.
Frankie Zeller.
Frank the Tank Zeller.
When Cody Zeller played on the Hornets, I had a hashtag, put Zeller in the cellar. He was so bad. He was awful.
Yeah, he went bald so fast.
Happens to the best of us.
Highlight of my college career, though, Cody Zeller's basketball teams. Anyway. So it should be a fun weekend of high school football as we work our way through the playoffs. Coming up next, college football coaching carousel. Dominoes are falling. James Franklin has accepted a job. Lane Kiffin just did an interview in which he was not asked about a single open job. We will talk about those things coming up next. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, and that can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. And forget waiting around. They have in-house labs, so you get your blood work results in minutes, not days. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatments, and sometimes it's a combination of those treatments that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. If you felt the sting of performance issues recently, you need to call the Tennessee Men's Clinic today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
12 o'clock on the nose. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Dallas Cowboys closed out Week 11 with a Monday Night Football victory over the Raiders, 33-16. Dak Prescott, 4 touchdown passes. The Cowboys sacked Geno Smith 4 times. Quinnen Williams with 1.5 sacks on his Dallas debut. College hoops, number 20 Tennessee handled Rice at home, 91-66. Nate Amen, a 19-point double-double. Forward J.P. Estrella went down with a knee injury, left the game. Rick Barnes was hopeful after the game that the injury will not be a long-term one. In college football news, Virginia Tech announced the hire of former Penn State and Vanderbilt coach James Franklin on Monday. He replaces Brent Pry, his former defensive coordinator at both Penn State and Vanderbilt. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So the coaching carousel in college football figures to be one of the more interesting ones in the last couple of years. You've got a great many jobs that were open mid-season, whether it be the high-profile firings of James Franklin, Brian Kelly, all manner of other Billy Napier, many other coaches who have been relieved of their duty already. Hugh Freeze, a lot of different jobs already open in the SEC. And probably a few more. Given that most of the primary candidates for job openings or to be fired at the end of the season are people that you thought might have a chance to be fired at season's end have already been fired. Is there another job you're keeping an eye on in the SEC?
Oh, in the SEC, not so much. Kentucky seems like it's just kind of going to be status quo.
They're going to bring him back?
They need one win for bowl eligibility, and that would mean either upsetting Vanderbilt or Louisville. But if they are able to do that and get to 6-6 with a little bit of promise in the quarterback position and Cutter Boley moving forward, then, yeah, they probably just keep the train rolling. But Florida State is one to keep an eye on with Mike Norvell. That feels like it's destined to be over.
You think they would have an opening right now and not just Wisconsin their way through another season?
Right, and Wisconsin seems like it is going to hang on to Luke Fickell. That's the thing, man. Some of these programs are in such an unenviable spot. We mentioned Arkansas. About UCLA.
Well,
who in the world does UCLA go get to come in and take that job with the stuff that's out there right now? So, and then what we don't know is the domino effect, right? Like, okay, John Summerall heads up to LSU. Let's say somebody hires John Summerall out of Tulane. Who does Tulane go get? Does that create a G5 opening elsewhere? You just never know where these things are going to go. And there's always a twist. Always a twist in these coaching carousels, especially one that's going to be as busy as this one.
So no twist for James Franklin. He decided to take the drama out of the next couple of weeks and months. He's leaving a lot of money on the table, apparently, too, for his new coaching gig. He's going to be the next coach at Virginia Tech. And Penn State was originally on the hook for $49 million to be paid through 2031, if I'm not mistaken, which is the second largest buyout in college sports history prior to Brian Kelly, who is in ongoing litigation with LSU about the fact that they tried to get away with paying him $25 million as opposed to ballpark 54. He is going to take the Virginia Tech job, which seems like a really good hire for Virginia Tech and a really good opportunity. How old is James Franklin? He can't be more than
58.
No.
That's my guess.
No shot.
I'd say like 53, 52.
59.
I'm going to say 51.
He's 53.
Oh, okay, Lucas.
He'll turn 54 in February.
Yeah, this is going to blow up in their face.
Virginia Tech?
Yeah.
Why?
Because what's the last time it worked at Virginia Tech? Who was the last coach?
Oh, man.
Beamer.
Beamer? Yeah, I was going to say. It hasn't worked since Beamer.
What did he have? Beamer ball. What does Franklin have? Stankin' Franklin? There's no rhyme that makes me feel comfortable or no soliloquy.
No alliteration.
Yeah, no alliteration.
I see.
What is he going to do there?
What do you think soliloquy means?
Like a song.
Not totally wrong.
Like an underwater basket weaving kind of thing. Nobody really knows what it is.
An underwater
It's more like
basket.
a
What is that a
dramatic
reference
speech.
to? Underwater basket weaving.
What do you mean?
That's like some kind of a show reference or a movie reference or something like that.
People say that all the time. I don't know.
Just don't think that's true.
I feel like it's a perfect match.
I think so too. It's a great place for him to rehab. It's like Lane. It's a better version of Lane Kiffin at FAU.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. No, Lane Kiffin was rehabbing his image at FAU. James Franklin doesn't really have to rehab his image at Virginia Tech. I don't know that this is a stepping stone for Franklin to take an SEC head coaching job. I could see James Franklin happily plugging away as the coach of the Hokies for the next decade. I could see it with a path to the playoff that is right there with 9 to 10 wins every year in the ACC and a program, a fan base that cares about football. They've been so dreadfully bad there over the years, and they have a good environment. They have a good fan base. They have some semblance of success in their history. The standard that James Franklin had at Penn State and at Vanderbilt, for what it's worth, the way he elevated the Vanderbilt standard and then the standard he had at Penn State that ultimately wasn't good enough. Oh, it's good enough at Virginia Tech, and then some. They would kill to be asking if their coach can get over the hump of 10-2. They would love that. So I think it's got potential to work really, really well for the coming years. I don't know that it's just a stepping stone thing the way Kiffin was at FAU. The question is, for Kiffin, is Ole Miss a stepping stone?
So he just did an appearance on Pat McAfee's show, and we didn't hear it, obviously, because we're on the air right now. But he was asked a variety of different questions. The thing that he was not asked is he was not asked about Florida or LSU, which, you know, far be it for me to have criticisms of Pat McAfee, who's clearly having a huge success with his show and his game day stuff. But if you're not going to ask him about the two jobs that he's most being rumored for, what's the point of having Lane Kiffin on the show other than Lane Kiffin's a good get and you're going to get people to come on? It's like the Rand Carthon thing with where he's talking about music and whatnot a couple months ago. It's why do it? He said, though, that it's absolutely not true. There's been no ultimatum on a deadline for the Egg Bowl, that the Egg Bowl is the deadline for him to make a decision. Yeah, that's absolutely not true. There's been no ultimatum, anything like that at all. And so I don't know where that came from. Like a lot of stuff that comes out there. Like I said, man, we're having a blast. I love it here. So that's the most information that Lane Kiffin had to give on the Pat McAfee show.
He keeps tweeting like these inspirational quotes.
Oh, yeah. He's just bothering people.
And he's talking about, knowing you're in the good old days, and these are the good old days at Ole Miss. And fans are like, what does it mean? Does it mean the good old days are almost over? Do you want to keep living in them? This reporting from Jesse Simonton from On3 Sports, it's just all over the place. Not the reporting that's all over the place, but the Kiffin saga is all over the place. So Simonton had this yesterday, that a few weeks ago, those around Oxford were confident that Kiffin would return. CAA, which represents Lane Kiffin, was engaging the Rebels in extension talks. The college football playoff not starting until late December seemed to work in the program's favor. Then he says the tenor has shifted in recent weeks. There is considerably less confidence now that Kiffin will stay in Oxford, as several sources CBS Sports talked to believe it is more likely he will leave. Meanwhile, others in the last 24 hours have expressed optimism he'll stay. Frankly, Kiffin is someone whose mind can change from day to day. We're in full-blown plane tracking mode, where Kiffin has had at least some family members go to both Baton Rouge and Gainesville, allegedly. And there's just this meltdown happening with the Ole Miss fan base. It's a very stressful place to be for a team that is basically in the playoff. Like, they're in. They could slip up in the Egg Bowl and still be in.
What's the best reason to take the LSU job?
Ooh, the boudin.
The food?
Love the boudin.
Tailgates?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The best reason to take the LSU job is there is a very clear standard and path. There is an accessibility to winning national championships that there has not proven to be at Ole Miss yet.
The three previous coaches prior to Kelly won a natty.
Yeah.
At LSU.
But the knock there is the alignment at Ole Miss is better than what's happening at LSU right now.
LSU is a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
I don't think they could have made that job look less attractive if they tried.
Yeah.
Given all the things that they have at their disposal, like it's never looked more unappealing for somebody who seems to have found his zen in Lane Kiffin. If I'm Lane, I don't think I'd touch LSU with a 10-foot pole. I'd let somebody else go in there and try and mess around. And maybe That's an easy thing for me to say from afar because there's money at stake. Obviously, LSU would pay him a considerable amount of money, but then you have the governor of Louisiana meddling in the contract situation. Like, I don't want to answer to that muppet.
Yeah, I think the salary thing is slightly overblown. Kiffin's making $9 million a year right now. He's going to get a raise out of this no matter what.
Shout out Jimmy Sexton.
Ole Miss can pay Lane Kiffin handsomely. It's about what he wants. I just feel like he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I feel like all of this stuff is going to happen, and he's going to do the thing that most coaches wouldn't do, which has kind of been Lane Kiffin's thing his whole career. I think he's just going to stay at Ole Miss and be a legend. He's going to stay in the good old days that he keeps talking about and continue to push for an unprecedented level of sustained success, which, quite honestly, he's already achieved at Ole Miss. Nobody's done this.
No. He's made them a program that routinely wins double-digit games on a regular basis where they were not doing that previously in their history. That also, you remember the Bruce Feldman line we brought up, was that last week? Into last week, where Bruce Feldman just happened to mention one industry source said at least some...
There's a modicum of interest from the Titans.
A modicum of interest from the Titans. Titans aren't paying $9 million for a coach.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Not that many NFL teams are for a coach that has hardly coached in the NFL.
Yeah, but Lane Kiffin is a commodity. Like, if you're getting Lane, you're paying Lane Kiffin prices, and Lane Kiffin prices are about to be somewhere in the $10 million a year range. Tennessee Titans are not paying $10 million a year for the next coach, no matter who the hell it is. 615-737-1045 is the number. What's the worst job on the market right now? Because you left Auburn out of the poll.
I did leave Auburn out.
Auburn,
I mean, there's not enough room.
Seems unappealing. Well, I thought you were going to leave it open-ended. I thought people were just going to make their own submissions. Which were the four that you put on the poll?
Which poll?
The poll that you put out saying that was which is the worst college football opening.
Okay. Well, again, you're doing this.
Oh, I thought I had him.
I don't even have.
I thought I had him.
I don't even have the time. It's just exhausting at this point. This dumb bit you're doing. But yeah, I don't know where Auburn stacks up in this. I just know Arkansas is at the bottom of the totem pole in all this. Like the Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss.
If you have the AD publicly coming out and saying, "Yeah, we're not fundraising the way that we need to fundraise to win at a reasonable level here," when they fire Sam Pittman,
Arkansas's AD, Hunter Yurachek said
red flag.
Man, this is going to be awesome. Like this is.
For someone who hates off-season talk, you love a coaching carousel.
Love coaching. I don't know what it is, because that's where the dynamics of a program's kind of culture within its fan base comes out, and you get to have all of those discussions about a program's history and certain personality fits and like all of these things that make college football so fun to keep up with. It's the personalities, right? It's the crazy fanatic nature of all these fan bases, and trying to mix and match those on what fits which fan base best and what the standard is here versus what the standard is there. It's like my favorite off-season activity in a football season. I love it. So it got started early with all these coaches getting fired in the first half of the season. And I look forward to seeing what that next domino is to fall. Franklin goes to Virginia Tech. Okay, that's not necessarily a domino that has this butterfly effect on 5, 6, 7 other different programs.
So why don't you just squint your eyes, tilt your head a little bit, and look at the draft and free agency, because all of the reasons you just said for why coaches should go places is the exact same for draft and free agency.
What do you mean?
Find out next? Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Like, wait, what do you mean what I mean? It's the same thing.
He said,
talk about Fitz.
He said your argument for enjoying coaching carousels is the same reason why you should enjoy draft talk and free agency talk before we might necessarily be ready.
He understood it. He's delaying and waffling.
No, I enjoy
the draft talk.
That's not true.
I just don't enjoy it during the season.
Lucas, you at the combine is as miserable and as annoyed.
What was that chuckle? What? That little grin you just gave.
I do
because he thought about NFL reporters who don't watch college football asking which Byron Young are you of the Alabama Byron Young.
I mean, yes.
And being made insane by
I enjoy diagnosing like coaching fits and program and fan base fits in college football way more than I do at the NFL level as it pertains to players. I will give you that 100%.
Okay. So which knowledge would be more beneficial afterwards? Knowing about these players, it doesn't matter where they land, you would just know about them, or knowing about these coaches where they might not get signed with the SEC school. You learn all this stuff about James Franklin, but then he goes to Virginia Tech, who you guys poo-poo on and hate.
Hate them. I just don't care.
Yeah. I wasn't talking to you. You don't even watch college football. I was talking to Lucas.
Well, if this whole show was based on which knowledge is more beneficial, we would have been off the air a long time ago.
We're going on 5 years getting away with this. It's criminal. It's criminal that they've let us go as long as we just continue to gain momentum, it seems, which is inexplicable to me. Jason Fitz, speaking of gaining momentum and imparting wisdom and knowledge, Jason Fitz of Yahoo Sports Daily and Fox Sports Radio will join us coming up next.
We are in the noon hour. That means lunchtime. It should mean for you, Hattie B's Hot Chicken. At any one of their 7 Middle Tennessee locations, they have something for everyone. Hot or not, everything in between, grilled or fried, even the southern salads. To that I say 2 words, cornbread croutons. Trust me and thank me later. And Thanksgiving is coming up, and Thanksgiving is getting hot with Hattie B's. That's right. They can cater your Thanksgiving. They can spicy it up for any size gathering. We're talking about a whole fried turkey, sliced turkey breast, cheesy hot chicken dip, Bishop's carrot souffle, and so much more. Go to HattieB.com. The thing is, supplies are limited. They won't last forever. Get rid of the hassle and make Thanksgiving hot and delicious this year with Hattie B's. Download the app today and go to HattieB.com and let them take care of your Thanksgiving in 2025.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's hot chicken and whatever kind of taco soup Robert made and brought in.
Soup de pollo, what are you doing?
Lucas has not stopped shoveling it into his face, and I'm curious as to how he's doing it, because famously the station does not have utensils in the building. Are you scooping it out with a cup and eating it? What are you doing over there? You've just been hunched over like a wild animal, like a vulture over a carcass.
Somehow we find utensils. And ever since Robert, I'll just say this. Robert getting a crock pot is one of the greatest things to ever happen to me in my professional life. So thank you, Robert.
Wouldn't it be your personal life?
No, because I usually eat it.
Yeah, I'm aware.
At work.
Yeah. At Jason Fitz is where you can follow our buddy. Yahoo Sports Daily is where you can watch along. Do you have as unproductive of teammates on Yahoo Sports Daily? I know Caroline Fenton pulls her weight. I can't imagine that you're used to this kind of nonsense anytime you walk into or visit with an allegedly professional environment.
No, see, we're lean and mean. Everybody actually works on my Yahoo Sports Daily show. I do have to admit, you mentioned taco soup, though. I got beef with one of your viewers/listeners that took one of my takes from that you guys aggregated, right, and says, why do I want this guy's opinion coming from the parking lot of a Taco Bell? Good sir, I'm not coming from the parking lot of a Taco Bell. My body is a temple. I am trying to do some things. Thank you very much, Jeff Black, the trainer out of Nashville that works my butt off. I'm in the parking lot of the gym, baby. I'm just trying. I'm in between. I don't want to be that guy that sits in the gym and does this interview in the middle of everybody working out. So I step out, we work out, and then I go back and I run sprints. There's no Taco Bell here. My body is a temple. I'm going to have abs at the Super Bowl that I make you just gawk over. I'm going to just walk around topless all over San Francisco and make you just go, oh, every time I walk by.
Well, there would be nothing wrong, for the record, with doing the show from a Taco Bell parking lot.
Well, that's fair. I do love some Taco Bell. I'm not going to lie about that.
Well, it's just the edibles talking for you at a certain point in time. What is the least attractive job in college football right now that's open since James Franklin has gone to Virginia Tech?
The least. So it depends on what we find attractive. Like, look, we were all watching the planes take off yesterday. And, you know, you got people in camo parked out, like hiding in the bushes to see who's getting off the planes for the LSU job. Let me say loudly, that is why I do not think Lane Kiffin should want the LSU job. He's in a situation now where Ole Miss, he can lose a game and still go out with his family to Chili's afterwards and get a triple dipper, and nobody's going to judge him. Like, someone's going to come up, give him a pat on the back and say, good luck, we'll get him next time, coach. He goes to LSU. My God, they're walking off of the plane in full costumes because, like, full height, because they don't want anyone to know who they are. Like, you want that in your life? You want to realize that every time you try to go out with your kids to, you know, just get a slice of pizza, that the result of last week's game is going to be lorded over you. So, like, the funny thing to me is that all these schools like LSU and Florida that are saying our jobs are so great, are they? Because your fan base is a pain in the ass. Like, just flat out, your fan base is obnoxious. Your fan base is going to make death threats every time things go wrong. And then your fan base also is so entitled. Like, look at Alabama. My God, if Alabama doesn't make the college football playoff, people are going to be calling for DeBoer's jobs. You know what I want? I want Lincoln Riley to take another job, and then I want Kalen DeBoer just to go out there and take the USC job, and on the way out say, here, Alabama, I don't want to deal with y'all anymore, because, like, fan expectations are obnoxious. So to me, all of these jobs that think that they should automatically win a national championship every year are the worst jobs. But to most coaches, I'd say Penn State's the worst.
Wait, why is that entitlement, though? Like, I'm sick of not having standards for your organization, whether it be college or pro. I don't just say this as somebody who covers a 1-9 football franchise that's like they've won 10 of their last 50 games or something ungodly, and haven't won a home game in 379 days as we can continue the count going. It makes me insane when people don't hold their organizations, their programs to account that way, Fitzy. I got no issue with Alabama fans having high standards for their program.
Wait. There's a difference between high standards and the automatic expectation of national championships. You don't pay a coach just to win national championships. You pay a coach to put you in proximity of a national championship, just like the New York Giants weren't the best football team in the year that they upset the undefeated Patriots. So does that mean that the Patriots suck? Does that mean that the Patriots should have just fired Bill and gotten rid of Brady, right? Like, that's the way we treat college football. What the Harry Douglas always says, you get in the dance, you got a chance. What you should expect is proximity. You should be within range of a championship every year for certain programs. So I believe that you should be be in the conversation of the college football playoff and have a real chance to win it most years if you're Alabama. I believe that that's also the case for most well-funded schools. But I also think that if you turn around and you lose one regular season game and you freak out, you've lost total perspective. I do a weekly hit when Dayton, Ohio, and every week I get asked the same question: should Ryan Day be on the hot seat? I still get asked that question, literally, because they're like, "Hey, didn't beat Michigan. You don't beat Michigan." Like, look, you just won a national championship. So there's a difference between the standard. The standard should be for Alabama, we are constantly in the college football playoff / national championship conversation, which they are. But if you turn around and say, well, all we did was make the playoffs this year, this whole year is a disaster, if you've lost that much perspective, and that's realistically what's going to happen. At LSU, if Lane Kiffin becomes the highest paid coach in all of college football and all he does is win, let's say, 11 games a year and goes to the college football playoff 5 years in a row, winning 11 games a year, he is going to get fired and run out of town, and he's going to get death threats because that's not good enough for LSU. There's a difference between expecting your team to be consistently competitive and consistently great and demanding championships. The two are not universally related. Great teams often don't win championships. Sometimes lucky teams do. So you can't simply make it about the championship you do or don't win.
At Jason Fitz is where you can follow him. Yahoo Sports Daily with Caroline Fenton, where there's a good deal of college football and college football guests, as well as Fox Sports Radio on Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time with me.
Very well said, Fitz. And the only program that you can point to in the modern era, unless you can name another one, that has actually made that kind of move to fire a coach because he has not done the thing and won the championship despite being in proximity would be Mark Richt at Georgia. Obviously, that worked out. I feel like people are going to try to do this when the years go by at Penn State and say that Penn State fired James Franklin because he couldn't win the big one, because they recognized his ceiling was 10-2 and maybe making a run to the semifinal, but ultimately never getting to lift that trophy. And it'll be very conveniently forgotten, Fitz, that they melted down against UCLA and went into a tailspin after that Oregon game.
Yeah, I mean, look, James Franklin got fired because the results this year weren't good enough, on top of the fact that it was a frustrated fan base, right? But ultimately, as I said, when Brian Kelly was fired at LSU, if we just did the resume test, the coach that LSU probably wants to hire is Brian Kelly, with just blind resume, right? I think what Penn State loses sight of, I'll never forget the year that I was out with Game Day for ESPN, and we got the Penn State game. We were going to Happy Valley. I went to a whiteout game. I remember the immediate reaction from everybody was, oh, God. And I sat there and thought, why? This is exciting. We're going to be at Penn State. And everyone's like, nope, you don't understand. It's such a pain. It's so hard to get in and out of Penn State, not from a hotel standpoint, from a drive standpoint. In Bristol, Connecticut, it was easier to drive the 4.5 hours to game day and stay at a hotel room an hour outside of Happy Valley, because that's all you could get on short notice, than it was to actually fly anywhere and try and get in. It's almost impossible. Think about what that means for recruits. Every time, because now this is where every fan base needs to hear me loudly on this. I know for a fact, having been around them, that there are college kids or high school kids, I should say, that it's worked into their deal that they get first-class plane tickets for their entire family to fly in and out of every home game. So if your answer is, well, it's a recruiting hotbed, who cares? Because now schools will just pay to put your parents on a flight, and they'll just fly them to you every week. It doesn't really matter anymore where you live. But particularly, it's just a pain in the butt to get to Happy Valley. It's not easy. Nothing about Happy Valley is easy. So, to me, I look at some of those things and say you've lost sight of the difficulties around the sales pitch of your school if you think that somebody else is going to come in and get that sales pitch better. I don't. Remember, Penn State fired James Franklin. They've done nothing since, and they've already, without doing a single thing, they've become the fourth best available job by the time it gets hired. It's crazy how already devalued that job is, because I'm not sure it was all that valued to begin with.
Where are you on the Auburn job versus the Florida job?
Oh, man, that's a good question, because I think both of them need a reset. I think both Florida and Auburn need sort of a come to Jesus conversation. You need they both need a friend that will tell them that dress makes them look fat. And it's somebody that will come down and tell them, hey, this is kind of you aren't who you think you are anymore. I think Florida is better, but I'm just basing that on the fact that in my mind, it makes sense for Florida to be better. I'm not sure there's a demonstrative difference between the two. If you're Auburn right now, the biggest concern you have in the world is that no matter how you fund it, you're about to become Nebraska. Nebraska's actually not having a terrible football season. Just ask Will Compton. But if you actually watch the Big Ten. Like, Nebraska is basically irrelevant. Nobody cares about Nebraska. Like, remember when Michigan State was good? Nobody cares about Michigan State anymore. My fear for the Auburns of the world is that it takes such a massive funding to get better than that. And I'm not sure that Auburn can maintain in the conversation of the haves and the have-nots. Like, there's this whole middle class of the SEC and the Big Ten brand-wise that I think are going to be left very forgotten. That's why the Big Ten keeps pushing for college football playoff expansion, because they're worried a bunch of their brands are just going to be left behind. And that's, I do fear ultimately long-term. Like, I don't think of Auburn the same way I think of LSU, or the same way I think of Alabama, obviously, or Georgia, obviously. So I would say Auburn's probably a little bit of a tier below. It's close, though.
What kind of pre-workout did you take today? You are a concerning shade of pink.
No, that's just because I've been lifting and the sun's here. Like, this is what happens when you're Irish. Like, it's just, I'm Polish and Irish, dude. Like, I get concerning shade of pink automatically. Pre-workout doesn't affect me, unfortunately. So, like, I tried, like, my trainer gave me like these little pills I could take that would help, amp everything up. And I took like 2. You're supposed to take 1. I took 2 and 3
scoops. PEDs? Is that what you just said?
No. They're like little fat burners that sort of help. Like, they're pre-workout little pills. And so, like, you take them to give you a little kick during the workout. And like, I took 2 with 3 scoops of pre-workout that day. Nothing. I was still like halfway through. I'm still like, I don't want to be here. I wish pre-workout worked for me.
Yeah, I'm on the same thing, Fitz. I get mine from the gas station. They've got a big rhino on them.
Yeah. Okay. And the bigger the animal, the better the pump out of it, for sure, right? Like, that's the way that would look. The first time I ever did a TV show with Mike Golick Jr. at ESPNU, as we were about to go to air, it's the first time I'd ever met him, I slammed 3 Monsters and 3 5-hour energies right before the show because I was tired.
You don't understand this creature. When he used to do morning radio here in town, like, I would see him put so much sugar in his body before the show started. It is as disgusted as I've ever been, and I've worked with the two of you for 5 years.
I mean, Mike was the one that looked at me and said, man, have you ever thought of just like cocaine? It's got to be easier for you than the amount of things you put in your body right now. I'm not sure he's wrong. Like, I drink energy drinks all day. I used to before I cleaned up my act. I drink energy drink used to because I just like the taste of sugar-free energy drinks. So I'd end the day and be like, oh, sorry, man, I had 14 Red Bulls today. I just sort of like, it's just part of how I'm natured. Caffeine does nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm well aware. It's all natural, kids. It's a shocking development for many people. Yeah. When they experienced Jason Fitz for the first time. Speaking of cocaine, Vegas played Dallas last night. Your Raiders are lifeless, they are useless, and they are being actively mocked on the pregame show because of the way that they constructed this thing. Do you take that personally? Where are you in your Raiders fandom after a 33-16 drubbing?
So I predicted, I was filling in on a show last night with Kojo, actually, on FanDuel. And he asked me what I thought the final score would be. And I said 41-17 was my prediction. The Cowboys took a knee with 2.5 minutes left from the 5-yard line. They could have made it 40-16. I didn't see anything that surprised me last night. I think the hardest part about all of it is right now, I would argue that the Raiders have the worst offensive line left to right that I've ever seen in my life. And that's just, it's not an exaggeration. This is the worst Raiders offensive line. I think it's the worst offensive line. And so the problem is, much like you've experienced in Tennessee, people say, go get a quarterback. It'll fix everything. Yeah. Moses could be your quarterback, and it wouldn't have worked behind that. I used Moses because he would have had it part the seas and everything. So very intentionally, Moses could have been the quarterback last night, and it still would have struggled for the Raiders. That offensive line is just dreadful, and the roster's not good enough. Like, I think, honestly, for the Raiders to be a playoff team, they need 18 or 19 new starters to be a competitive roster. So much like the Titans, I will remind everybody that when you are bad, it's a 3 off-season plan to try and fix a bad football team. And it's, as I continually say, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and admit you let yourself go. Got to admit you got fat. Now you got to fix it. And fixing it takes time. And you can go out and, like, you can do the Jaden Daniels things, just get Ozempic, but then eventually you stop taking Ozempic and you get fat again. Jaden Daniels gets hurt. We were reminded, oh, yeah, the Commanders weren't really a good football team, right? Like, some point you got to focus in on building the trenches on the offense and the defensive line. And I would give that same advice to the Titans, to the Raiders, to the Saints. I would remind everybody that right now at 2-8, if the draft were today, the Raiders would have the 6th pick in the draft. There are that many dreadful teams in the NFL, and they're all dreadful because they're not focusing on doing the right things the right way every single day.
It does feel so lopsided, the standings, the last 2 seasons in particular. We're all, and I know you have gone at the fallacy that is parity in the NFL before, but my God, do the bad teams suck these last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and there's not an easy the bad owners suck too. Like, this is where, look, people in hell want ice water. I just want relegation. I want relegation in the NFL because it would force bad teams. It would change their bottom line so much that they would be forced to figure out how to do business a better way.
Yeah, and right now it's you can get a new stadium built and not do press conferences and hide behind team presidents and things like that and not have to have any accountability about how bad your product is. Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports Daily, Fox Sports Radio, from 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time with me on Saturday. You going to make me talk about Shedeur this weekend?
No, but I am going to beg this of everybody listening. If you followed a single person that told you that it was a big deal that Shedeur hasn't had a snap with the ones, if you followed a single person that took that logic, stop following them. In today's world, there is more information than ever. So if you choose to just not understand that you only get 14 to 16 plays per practice session, those are going to be reserved for young quarterbacks that need the most reps possible, blah, 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 blah. Even if you saw it, if you saw it continual, like if you choose to not just have the information, that's a you problem. Shedeur hasn't been treated any differently than any other fifth-round quarterback. I'm sorry people want to believe otherwise. I can't make a conspiracy theorist believe the truth, but the truth is, having talked to dozens of former players, literally nothing that Shedeur has gone through is different than any other quarterback in the NFL that's a backup quarterback, that they, especially when you've got a young quarterback that is your starter. So the Browns are not committing malpractice. They're not sabotaging Shedeur. And if you're reading somebody that's telling you otherwise, do the best thing you possibly can and just unfollow them.
Josina Anderson. Oh, God.
Yeah, stop following Josina. Like, fine, I'll say that out loudly. Just stop following her. The propaganda is a nightmare. Stop following her.
See, he got his house broken into?
Shedeur, yeah.
By Josina.
Recklessly speculate right now. Give me the reckless speculation sound.
Do I
right?
have to?
Yes, right now. Thank you. That's...
He had about $200,000 worth of stuff stolen during his debut.
Yeah, he's living like a real backup quarterback with $200,000. $200,000 worth of stuff that can be stolen from his house.
I feel bad that somebody's house was broken into, but also I think it's fair to admit that, like, you remember the movie Elf, where like Buddy the Elf gets all the snowballs and he's just chucking them and he's catching everybody. I'm just imagining a world where Shedeur was home and he's got the snowballs and he's trying so hard to hit them downfield. He's trying and he just keeps missing them and missing them and missing them while his $200,000 worth of stuff walks out the house. It's not very nice of me.
You're so mean for that. I'm supposed to be the mean one. Jason Fitz with us on 104.5 The Zone. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Love some of you, not Buck.
I love you too, buddy.
He said it first that time.
We're just, me and him are, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I think it's going to be official pretty soon.
Feeling pretty good.
And if you listen to Josina, it's not the only thing that's been stolen from Shedeur. He should have had first team reps in camp, not Joe Flacco. I just don't understand it. Like, is she?
Well, save it.
Oh, for dumbest thing in sports. You're right. You're right. You're right.
You're turning the same shade of pink that Fitzy was.
I'll let you guys know. She did put up a 6-minute breakdown of why she thinks that Shedeur is being held, everything held against him, and the whole world's standing in his way. And she makes sure to throw everyone under the bus, but actual Shedeur's talent. So
really making it to where if he doesn't pan out, it's just going to be rough.
Well, I think
she's just hurting her credibility.
What she's doing is she's bailing Mel Kiper out. No one will point at Mel Kiper as the Shedeur guy anymore.
Great cover for Mel Kiper. You're right.
You think Mel Venmo'd her a couple $100? Be like, listen, lady.
My lady, my girl, keep it up.
We haven't heard from Mel since his meltdown over Shedeur's draft fall.
His meltdown. Oh, Mel's meltdown.
That's absolutely not what he meant to do there.
It's okay. It was still good, buddy. Even if you get a hole-in-one on accident, still counts as a hole-in-one.
Giblets. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. College football playoff rankings will come out in its, third iteration tonight?
That's right. And we'll see who the new chair is with the Baylor athletic director.
Well, I guess we don't know since Mack Rhodes has been relieved of his duties.
I can't remember who they said is likely to fill in. That's right. The Arkansas AD.
Hunter Yurachek. They did also add another athletic director, and I can't remember what school from, for Mack Rhodes' voting interest beyond being just the chair.
It should be a bunch of Division II ADs. Like, why should people that could potentially be in the playoffs be a part of, let Norfolk State
and
that. All of these other people argue over what the semantics are, because, of course, SEC ADs are going to be like, I think that this school should get a shot. They're not going to go to resume. Like, why would... It doesn't make any sense. That's like me being on a board and it being over producer juditions or whatever.
It's such an unbelievably flawed process. That it's almost endearing how flawed it is, unless you fall victim to it. Which again, Vanderbilt fans, the rooting guide is. We'll lay out the rooting guide later this week because Vanderbilt might need some stuff to happen.
No, you need Oklahoma to lose here in the next couple of weeks because Oklahoma beating Alabama. Alabama's not going to fall out of the playoff.
Neither is Georgia. Neither is Ole Miss.
Right, and Texas is still ahead of you if you're Vanderbilt because you've got that head-to-head. So you're not helped by...
Notre Dame's going to win out.
They should.
They got Syracuse and Stanford. They're winning out.
Yeah, they should absolutely. Syracuse, man, they have fallen off a cliff. I know they weren't expected to be good this year.
Yeah, and their quarterback went down. It's just all kind of collapsed in on itself. But Oklahoma hosts Missouri and LSU to close out the year. So
it's
both are talented teams.
That they could drop one of those two and Oklahoma just have a brain fart moment, for lack of a better term. But I don't know. Oklahoma's playing better than either of those two programs right now.
We'll see. We'll see how far Texas falls tonight, too.
Well, this will be the first time since the playoffs have come out that the top five have been unchanged, if I'm not mistaken, because last week there was no movement one way or the other. I don't know. Does A&M get dinged at all for trailing that entire game and then roaring back?
Well, should Indiana against Penn State?
No, I would have argued that Indiana should have. I would be comfortable arguing that A&M should be the number one team in the country.
Yeah, but then we get into a dangerous thing where you're not worthy of being one of those teams unless you just come out and smack every opponent and just none of these games are competitive.
Which is not realistic in college football right now unless you're playing Ohio State's schedule.
You're playing talented teams every week. South Carolina is a talented football team that has had a nightmare of a season.
Did you see Paul Feinbaum, what he said about Shane Beamer? He said he just looks like a loser, which feels very personal.
Man. Feinbaum is really...
Well, Feinbaum knows he's getting ready to leave for political office, so everybody that he hates, the Paul Feinbaum list of enemies.
Beamer has the chance to do something incredible if Feinbaum doesn't win his race and just quote tweet the results, be like, looks like a loser.
Just looks like a loser.
Because he does. He has a head like a coffee mug. Like, let's be honest, with those big old ears.
No, Paul Feinbaum looks like a librarian. Like, nobody has ever looked more like a librarian that would shush you if you're speaking in tones that are just above hushed than Paul Feinbaum.
Oh, if Paul Feinbaum was to do another job, what would he do? I don't think librarian would work, though, because he likes to talk too much. I guess not. He likes to listen to other people talk when they call into his show. So I guess he could be a librarian.
I mean, he looks like an accountant.
I can see that. Crunch those numbers, Paul.
No, he doesn't.
Or a politician.
A politician?
You're doing too much heavy lifting with trying to make the names into something. A Mel down.
Mel, I didn't do Lucas did that.
Yeah, that was me.
And it made sense. You're telling me that wouldn't be an ESPN feature coming back, be like Mel's Meltdown? They would 100% make a fake graphic for that and run that as a segment.
It's okay, Bird. He can't imagine having this level of verbal dexterity.
You famously very...
I concur.
Very dexterous.
Yes.
In my verbality.
Dexterity.
Play the poll so we could go home. I think this is my favorite one.
He did an incredible job with this.
Yeah.
It's also the longest It's this or Austin Powers.
Star Wars is pretty long.
Star Wars takes forever.
Yeah, as far as impressions go, doesn't get any better.
Oh, yeah, he's killer. He's killer.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What in sports made you say, oh no, this weekend? Det says Josina Anderson's Twitter post about Shador's performance on Sunday. Kenneth says Mason Kinsey.
Mason Kinsey getting discombobulated in the midst of running routes that he's never run before. I don't know. I mean, Mason Kinsey has a better argument for not looking like he was ready for the moment than Shador Sanders does, for example. But I guess that's just life in the NFL.
Tim says his Gamecocks blowing a 30-3 lead. It's
tough.
Halftime, 30-3.
That was tough.
What is the worst job in this college football coaching carousel? LSU, Arkansas, Florida, or Penn State? 79% say Arkansas. You definitely should have replaced Arkansas with Auburn. That was oversight on your part. But not a big college football guy. I get it. Which Titans player has had the most disappointing individual performance this season?
I almost just cussed at you.
Right. You gonna argue with me on that? John says Calvin Ridley drops to start the year. Injuries just hasn't given this team what they have paid for.
Yeah, I mean, you feel bad for Calvin. You can feel bad for Calvin and also acknowledge that he is not. He's just not lived up to his any kind of billing that you had for Calvin Ridley here in Tennessee.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the answer, right? With the promising training camp that he had, you just hate to say it after he breaks his fibula and is done for the year. Pretty much every other submission was for L'Jarius Sneed.
Yes, I mean those three.
What three?
What's the phrasing of the poll?
Oh, I don't know. Most disappointing player of the season for the Titans.
I was looking at a comment that said J.C. Latham, and then I said 3 in my head. So Ridley, J.C., Sneed. I think the other two are leaps and bounds more disappointing, but I'm so not impressed with J.C. Latham.
Those are the polls.
That's the show. It's going to do it for us tonight. Robert and I are off of primetime. You can still go hang out at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you are so inclined, we will be back tomorrow with college football playoff reaction and our Man on the Street video from my day at Nissan Stadium on Sunday. See you then.
Swing still looks just okay, though.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.